Alrighty. I think our wireless is flaked out as normal. Hey everyone,
It's looking good.
welcome. Welcome to another
The wrong place.
splendid evening of Live from the Lab. I can see, oh, we have a comment. I was about to say, oh wait, you got the mouse now, bud.
Don't.
Want to see what the comment is over there? So we are here for another splendid night, and I thought no one cared about pH anymore.
pH is everything, man.
No one cares about pH anymore. There's barely, but I was wrong. There's people in the audience. There's, I think,
Mandy.
Mandy. I love you.
Hey,
How are the
Mandy.
kids? We don't have JT tonight, unfortunately. Well, now, but we do have Chat JT. So, JT, we miss you, and already I'm not as big of a fan, but I've got a, you could get some fancy bot, and people, doesn't this look like a bot? Nope, it's JT. And we miss him, and here's a chat prompt that we would be asking JT questions that normally we would have real JT for, and he might stop by later and hopefully debate.
It's
He's
artificial
looking at me. He just nodded his head.
JT simulation.
Yeah.
The latest and greatest.
So anyways, I'm Matt, and I've dragged my two friends over here. I'll let them introduce themselves.
How you doing? My name's Wega. You can catch me at One We Grow on Instagram.
Yep, and he's an incredible grower, an incredible egg farmer. He has chicken. He's inspired me to expand my flock. So,
It's
you
fun.
kind of ruined my summer actually.
It takes a lot. It
Dude.
takes a lot. They're really easy, but you just stand there in the coop and just watch them. Or stand outside and just watch them, and an hour
Dude,
or
once
two
you get
goes
set
by.
up, it's the best thing you can experience.
In the sunshine.
Dude, when I go home tonight, I'm gonna say hi to my chickens.
It's fun.
My rooster's, he's in the doghouse.
You got a rooster?
We have one rooster who's a sweetheart, brownie batter,
Yep.
but apparently pecked my daughter, Lucy.
good.
He's normally, and she said, he's a bad rooster, and she was very upset because she loved talking
I mean,
to
you
him.
need something to do the job.
He's a good boy, though. He's real good. He's very
That's
gentle.
He's
so.
gonna end up with like a cork.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the 4 a.m. wake-ups?
So I pushed the barn further away and
It's
actually,
fun.
put walls around, because
Soundproofing.
yes, until the new one, it was like literally right next to where I slept,
It's bad.
and dude, he would
It's bad.
get me up.
Yeah.
Tell
you
you
don't
me-
think, oh, it's cute, it's chickens, oh, it sounds like the... No. And then you feel like a bad neighbor. It's like...
Yeah. I'm sorry, neighbors, if you ever listen to this.
Yeah, we actually ended
We
up
didn't
getting...
intend to,
We
yeah.
got an African goose
Yeah.
instead of having a rooster, because then you don't have to worry about the fertilized eggs. But they are aggressive.
I've never heard about African geese. Tell
Yeah,
me
so
about that.
they live in the coop, just like a rooster would. They protect the flock just like a rooster would, but you don't have to worry about the eggs being fertilized. It was a little mean. I feel bad because he doesn't have a bath at the moment, and I feel bad for a goose who doesn't have a bath because we're
Yeah,
keeping.
they need that,
close.
right? Yeah.
Every once in a while, it's nice. So in the spring, we let them get a nice bath. They
I've
get
seen
some
picture
sun.
animals. You give them good lives.
They're happy. They're very
Yeah.
happy birds.
You inspired me.
They're
We
fun.
went from 3 to 21, and you played a massive role.
I
in that.
appreciate that, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate
No,
it. It's
seriously,
honestly,
you ruined my summer. I had to build a barn all summer.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. I thought about
Well, let's
you. I
ruin
was
your
like
next summer.
sweating and angry. Now a goose. Oh, I'm just
listen,
kidding. I
anytime
love
you want to come visit, they're fun, and then you don't get those 4 a.m. wake ups. That was for us a big thing.
Yeah,
Having a rooster at all day, all night, it's like,
he's not too bad, luckily.
that's good.
And
That's good.
fortunately, there's another rooster in our neighborhood. You hear it in the distance. So when our guy goes, someone else's guy goes, and I'm like,
it's not us. It's
not-
not
it's
us.
not-
I promise.
it's
By your
not good.
powers together, the roosters have been multiplied.
dude, I need
So
to
they
switch
just
my
fucking-
chair. I'm like way
Let's do it.
taller than you guys. No. Like I'm gonna get another one because I'm like way up high compared to you guys. I'll be right back. Nick, sorry, I should introduce you first as I roll the.
Oh no worries. So my name's Nick. I just do stuff. I don't know, tech industry mostly, but currently fun employed. That's a good time.
That's the way to go.
Nick is the man at everything. Oh, thanks, man.
I'm a generalist.
Wait, check this out. I just want to show you.
Even
So,
professionally.
so
Like,
Nick
it's-
is
I'm like a problem solver kind of guy.
Nick shall be the
Resources.
cameraman, and he. I just pushed being in charge of this program, which I literally spent 2 weeks taking an online course. Like all I did was do this, and I'm willing to bet by the end of the night he'll be better than me. But I'm transitioning. I literally pushed it upon him. So I think you. Oh wait, you drag it? Oh, did it work? I'm trying to drag a comment. So.
Oh, here we go.
Hey.
So boom.
We appreciate the love.
Love you too, Mandy.
Aw, we love you too.
Thank you.
Did that show up? That showed up. Yeah, cool. So I thought you could just double click on. Oh yeah, check this out. Yeah, you can do that. So you just click on that. I'm just teaching that quick.
All right, there you go, bud.
So if comments come up,
This is
I'm
not
in
my
charge
job.
of I'm in
Man.
charge of ChatJT. So if anyone has any questions anytime for ChatJT, please. I've got so many. So, anyways, so the plan for tonight, I want to just give you guys a welcome, which we've done. We've introduced ourselves, and actually, let's cue up. Mandy made an awesome movie to explain to me pH before tonight. And fortunately, I watched that. And JT keeps looking at me. Like, I don't know if you guys see this, but like I look down at the computer and I have my friend looking up at me and nodding his head, which is amazing.
It's inspiring.
Anyways, let's cue the movie. You want to click on video?
All right. Bam.
Why would soil pH matter for plants? Well, picture this. Soil is like
Shoot. So we can't really
Soil is like a buffet for
Yeah,
plants,
that's why
filled
we-
with nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium. But if the soil pH is off, it's like putting a lock on some of those food items at the buffet. The nutrients are there, but the plants can't access them. For most plants, but not all, they can access the entire buffet of nutrients when the soil pH is about neutral, or between 6 and 7.5.
You're right.
However, if the pH of the becomes too low or too acidic, important nutrients like phosphorus and calcium will be locked out, while other nutrients like aluminum will become too available. And if your plant
Probably true.
and if your plant eats too much aluminum, it won't thrive. On the other hand, if the soil pH becomes too high or too alkaline, different nutrients will be locked out. For example, a basic soil won't allow a plant to access important nutrients like iron, zinc, or manganese. And another reason soil pH is very important is because of the tiny heroes of soil, microbes. These microscopic organisms are in charge of breaking down organic matter so that the nutrients are available for your plant to eat. If the soil pH is too low or too high, they can't do their job and your plants won't thrive. So how do you know if your soil has the optimal pH for your plants? Well, you can test it. Our favorite way to do that is to water our plants, collect the runoff that we get after it comes out the bottom into a saucer, and then we go ahead and test that with a pH meter. If it's too acidic, you can add something like lime, and if it's too alkaline or basic for what your plant needs, you can add something like sulfur. Happy plants start with happy soil. Like and subscribe for more gardening tips. Bye, guys.
You can switch the scene now.
Oh, the seed.
Out. Yeah.
Boom.
So, so thank you, Mandy. Thanks for making that for us. That's so helpful. So, now that we understand why keeping pH within that range is important, we're gonna test the pH in some places. We're gonna check out a flood table with a flood drain system and a discus fish tank and aquarium, and then let's bring a plant back here and do a soil sample, and I'll show you guys how I like to do that. Can you guys hear us all right, by the way? Feel free to let us know if you can or can't, or any other feedback to make this more palatable.
I thought that Mandy had a good point where rather than waiting for the plant to die,
Yep.
you should test your pH.
Test the runoff.
It's fact.
Testing runoff is really the only way to get a solid reading.
So to start, I'm going to give you guys a quick lesson, right? So the ways to test, right? Ultimately, it's about a meter and an indicator paper or solution like this. I go back and forth. Like, it's funny. With soil, it's hard to use the indicator because the water's not clear. With aquariums, it can be great. I've definitely gotten frustrated with these because they can be slow. So when I'm doing like 10 aquariums, I'll just get a test tube and a dropper of this and use this stuff, and it's great. All you have to do, I'll grab you guys some aquarium water quick and show you. Should I do that, or should I just do the meter?
Go
Yeah,
for
let me
it,
show
man.
you guys.
Go
Yeah.
grab what you need. So like, when you're testing pH, you're always testing like the runoff. Is that the most accurate way to-
So I think when you start having an issue, that's when I would go into starting testing the runoff. Or if you start noticing, I'm a cannabis grower mostly, so when I notice nutrient lockout or any lockout situation,
How can
then
you
I'm
tell
immediately-
there's a lockout?
You can. So your plants will look vibrant. Your plants will look delicious and happy and green and lustrous. When you start seeing any browning or any, you're usually
I've seen
usually
that, like, the
overwatering.
leaf edges, stuff like
Exactly.
that. Okay.
And overwatering is usually everybody's issue, or
Right.
underwatering.
Yep.
But then next you're going to go to pH after you go to overwatering or underwatering. So if you really got your watering dialed in, then you're going to check your pH. And the pH of your town water may be off. If you're using tap water, it might not always be the same.
That's a big thing. So, like, I do have some aquariums.
Yep.
And part of the way that I like select my fish is, honestly, because it's easy, right?
Yep.
You test your pH for your tap water, and then buy your fish accordingly, and you'll
Absolutely.
save a lot of trouble, man.
Absolutely. I mean,
I'm like a hands-off, minimal interaction kind of guy.
What is the pipettes? I was like, oh man, we're out of pipettes. So that's right, we sell pipettes here. So.
we have some. It's just like fruits and vegetables, though. You know, certain fruits and vegetables grow in different environments in different places. Idaho, the soil is great for potatoes, right? Not everywhere can grow that. You know,
It's so true. Like I have like blueberries. I was in Colorado and I was trying to grow blueberry bushes, and the soil's alkaline out there, and they want a pH like 4.5. Like I'm bringing the pH back on this one,
Right.
so it's I bring them out. And actually, when I was out there, I thought I'd killed this blueberry bush. It was just basically dead, and I dumped. Like I would get entire like 5-pound bags of coffee grounds from a local coffee shop, Starbucks actually.
Yeah, you're
And I
like
just literally fill my trunk up with like 50 pounds of coffee grounds.
fighting uphill.
And it was
like-
perfect because it's
yeah.
a little acidic, and so I dumped that on top of the blueberry bush, and it just started popping
Did it work?
You love it.
And out here, it's so much easier to grow blueberry bushes, right? Like
Yep.
especially if you have a bunch of pine trees. And
Yep.
So, I mean, did that work long term? Like,
it
how
did,
many years did it work?
yes. It's like such a, you know what's neat, and like this is something interesting, is like almost taking an alkaline soil and from what I'm seeing, like adding something acidic, it almost like creates a soluble state
Yep.
for nutrients. It's almost like better than just having the pH dial in
right.
certain ways.
Especially after your first water, it
Yeah.
just settles in and it soaks into your soil. And I mean, I don't know so much for you know hydro growers and things that folks who are using hydroponics to grow. I love soil because you get that buffer.
Yep.
You know.
Oh my gosh, pH, dude, it's like in soil, it's like a bus. It's just stable or a giant boat, and it's like in hydro, especially if it's like a pure salt environment, it's just teeter tottering. There's
It's
nothing
so
to buffer it
flimsy.
up.
Yeah.
It's so flimsy, you know.
And that's something it surprises me. Like hydro growers, JT. We should ask Chat JT. All right, I'm gonna ask Chat JT a question.
I do wish we
Like,
could get
why?
ChatGPT on the screen.
I mean, he just nodded his head when I said that, which is amazing. I really wish we could show you guys
Looks like
this
he's
better.
waiting for your response.
You know what? We could. Wait. I got an
Maybe
idea.
he's asking a question.
All right,
Can we
let's give it a
put
shot.
a camera on him, or? All right, let's just ask him. So I'm going to ask him,
Put a camera on him. It might not be a camera. that they can
why don't hydroponic growers use buffers for pH?
Can you buffer?
So a buffer, by the way, we haven't even talked about like
Yeah,
a buffer.
let's
It
talk about
blows my
buffers.
mind, right? Like, and buffers are something that basically keeps the pH from fluctuating out of a certain range. So I guess I was learning about it's like a weak acid and a weak base together, and basically it keeps it within a narrow range. And I actually have used one. I had an aquaponic system that was just, which is common, I guess, constantly drifting down, becoming more acidic, and it added some African cichlid substrate, and they like alkaline environments, like so a higher pH. And it totally just, I added just enough so it kept it at the perfect pH, which was like just south of neutral. And then all of a sudden it did hit a threshold and started going up.
What were you using for the buffer?
It was literally an African cichlid like medium, like what you put in the fish tanks for like African cichlids, and they're like 8.2, I think, for
Okay.
pH or something.
Okay.
Like it depends, I guess. There's like different lakes, but they like it like real alkaline.
Yep.
And so I was like, maybe if I add some of this in.
Where
it was
do you know
awesome.
where they
I never
grow?
had, I was pHing every single day until then.
Do you know where they grow originally?
Yeah,
In
like
Africa?
Lake Malawi. There, so
Okay,
it's
cool.
like these like some of the big lakes.
Yep.
Lake Malawi is a big one. What other lakes? Let's ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's
We
a
still
good
got
one.
the first question to answer.
Oh wait, yeah. So I asked him, why don't hydroponic growers use buffers for pH? Hydroponic growers typically avoid using traditional pH buffers because they can interfere with the nutrient balance and availability in the
Yeah.
solution.
Much more control.
Here's why. Did you say there's a way to make it read for me? Can it read this out loud? Nutrient interference.
See that maybe?
Yeah, I feel like I'm just talking too much. That's the problem.
No, this is what we're here for.
No.
All right,
dude.
cool. You want me to read for JT?
Yeah.
I miss real JT. I miss
all
you,
do.
JT, if you're watching. Nutrient interference, dynamic pH needs, plants naturally alter the pH of the solution as they take up nutrients.
Yep,
Some
makes sense.
nutrients are absorbed as cations. Cations are positively charged. So think when you have a salt like sodium chloride and a bunch of the salts that you use in hydroponics, right? They're solid, but when you put them in water, they split up, and there's going to be one positive thing and one negative thing.
Some ions.
And the cation is the positive thing, and the anion is the negative thing. So if you have like potassium chloride, for instance, it's going to break up into a positive potassium ion and a negative, which one is it? Potassium chloride? Chlorine ion, yes. Sorry, which camera are we on? Which one should I be looking at? So I guess you can have tight precision. Buffers stabilize pH, could prevent the fine tuning. They can increase the electroconductivity of the solution. And they're saying basically it's just easier to just monitor the pH constantly. So I don't know. I want to hear what real JT has to say about this.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I
about,
think real
you know,
JT will debate that.
when you're talking about like thermal mass, for instance.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear like comparison between the two, because like one of the things is when you have a chimney, for example, in the middle of a house.
Mhm.
If you ignore the drafts and all the like convection, stuff that can occur, when you heat up a house, at a certain point, this chimney is attempting to achieve the same thermals as your your furnace is. Your furnace is just measuring the air temperature, which is going to fluctuate way more.
Yep.
So by adding this like thermal mass, you can keep your furnace from kicking on and off and on and off and on and off.
Mhm.
So that's kind of goes back with the buffer and how you had to tweak things every day before putting in the buffer.
Yeah.
And that's why it's going to lower your maintenance load, make things more reliable. If something goes wrong, it's going to go wrong more slowly.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's an important ingredient.
And that's why, in soil too, you can always flush your soil out, where in hydro, you get screwed when you're doing hydroponics.
Kind of actually think about this. Okay, so
You
I
need to get
picked
you a
the
new
ch-
chair, by
this
the way.
chair's not going to work. Sorry, I'm switching chairs again. So we haven't bought a lot of chairs here. They're pretty old. I got the matching chair.
It's a lot of chairs in here. It's a nice
Lots of old
space.
chairs.
It's fantastic space.
They don't make chairs like this anymore. And I don't care about peach either. That's how I know I'm old, man. That and I'm getting old. I ordered pistachio ice cream the other day.
Oh,
That's
that
a-
is a
And I
classic
love
grab.
it. And I worked at
Do you have any
Friendly
grandkids?
scooping ice
Why
cream.
didn't you tell me about your grandkids?
You get some rum raisins.
Yeah, right, dude. Rum raisins next. That's coming. Rum raisins 60 and older. I think you gotta be real old for that.
With
I'm
holidays,
not. I'm not that old, man.
Peppermint stick.
So all right. Let's test some pH. All right. So the first thing we're gonna do, these test
Shout out to
strips I
Pedro.
think are so old they don't work anymore. I don't know if they ever did. So there's these test strips.
I feel like this is where the second camera angle would
Oh wait,
come in
yeah.
handy.
You want to switch to
Oh,
the
you know what?
iPhone?
I'll go run around with that camera.
Check
and
this,
We'll
check
just see
this,
how it goes. Oh,
check this.
hey, there you go. Perfect. Well, I'm off camera.
You want to hold that from this side?
Ignore me.
Okay. Wait. You gotta switch to this guy. Sorry.
Had it for this whole time.
No,
All
no,
right.
no. It's
So-
switch scenes, right?
Okay.
Yeah. No, he's good.
Camera one, camera two.
This is a pH strip. So I'm gonna take this. Maybe I'll just dip it. I'll bring you guys to the fish tank, right?
Heck yeah.
And
Well,
so,
let's go.
to avoid putting this strip in, I'm going to actually pull some water out instead.
I'm just gonna keep this going at Matt here. So can we see this this collection of various soil additives?
This is Mandy's. I'm going to be honest. I don't know how to use this. Mandy knows how to use this. She's run the soil test for us. She's awesome. Thanks, Mandy. All right, so I'm going to pull some water out here because I don't want to put the strip in. And then,
And this thing is.
where there's fish and whatnot in there, I just worry about any chemicals coming off of it. So let's see if this changes color. I tried it earlier and it did not seem to work much. It showed a little bit of green. So let's see. All right, we'll come back to this. Let's go back to.
All right.
This could take a while. let's use now the same tank I got water earlier from, and I'm going to use some of this solution. And this stuff's so concentrated. And this to me is like honestly the most reliable, with the exception of sometimes when you do a soil test, which we'll do later, you'll see it can be like, if it's all murky, it's hard to really tell.
Yeah, you were talking about it with the with sediment in the runoff and how that can be challenging. To
Yeah, so if it's really dark, the water's really dark.
I find having some of
And
those
that's-
test strips on hand, if you're using a regular pH, this is a different subject obviously, but if you're using a digital pH meter, having some of those test strips on hand, if you feel like your meter may be not calibrated or off calibration,
Yes.
it's good to use in the pinch.
So this is, check this out. Can you bring this camera in? I want to show people kind of. So you match it. So this is a universal indicator. It's interesting. I was learning litmus paper.
Yep.
You heard of litmus paper to test pH?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've
Gets the name made from lichen, a pigment in lichen. You know, lichen, the stuff that grows in rocks and stuff. So they pull it out and it changes colors depending on the pH. Isn't that cool?
Come on this side so you can talk to us both.
So you got to match to the color, and even this can be a little tricky, right? Like, is
just have it
this
right on the bottle? That's cool.
and is this 8 or is this 7? And
Oh yeah, the vertical. I've never seen.
it can be pretty
the vertical
tricky,
that
right? And so it depends on how precise you want to be, right? That being said, it's like more accurate but harder to be precise. And what I mean is like you could have a meter that's 2 points off. This one's just harder to figure out exactly what it's showing you.
And again, I think that's where we're talking about the difference between soil and hydroponics, right?
Yep.
And soil being off those 0.2, it's not a big deal, but in hydroponics, that may throw off your entire grow.
Absolutely.
You know?
And so, by the way, guys, don't go put this back into your hydro system or your fish tank
Don't pour it
or
back.
soil. Yeah, just dump it. It might not matter. I don't know. Anyone know? Anyone have any experience with dumping pH solution into a fish tank? Or I'm sure it doesn't go well. Oh yeah, see, it's kind of starting to change. So I think this might be old. All right, so you guys want to go walk around and check out?
Let's do it.
Oh, and so actually, before I do that, I want to show you guys. So the next method we're going to mess with is pH meter, and right here, see that guy? But before we use it, the big challenge can be with these guys is making sure they're actually accurate.
Does that have a ppm meter on it too?
It does, yeah.
That's awesome, man. I
I'm
just got
so
one of
bummed.
those,
We just
and
ran out of stock on these. These
The
things are great.
difference between having one that does ppm and doesn't have ppm on it is night and day.
Geez, yeah, it's really nice to know, to measure what you put in versus what you're getting out, and monitoring how it changes.
For
Oh,
a
wait.
while, at first I thought I could ignore pH, and then I realized pH is everything, and then I thought I could ignore
yeah.
ppm, and now I'm realizing ppm is everything as well, right?
It all.
Electrical conductivity of your plants.
It's funny. Like the more experience you have, the more you think about things,
Yep.
and the more you have to, take things seriously. So all right, so let's
spinning
let's
dishes
check
you have
it.
to
So I
balance.
just put in a calibration solution, a 7.0 calibration solution. So this should measure out to 7. Let's just make sure it does, or within the ballpark. And so this is a little off. Now I think this one actually might calibrate to 6.86. You know what? This is a question for ChatJT.
How much is it off?
Can someone ask ChatJT why some pH meters calibrate to 6.86? Like why that number? It's like a common thing. So this is a 7 calibration and this is a 6.86, and some meters are 7 and some meters are 6.86. Why 6.86? It's got to be. I want to know.
I mean, maybe it has to do with the sensor.
The reason some pH meters calibrate to 6.86 lies in the specific characteristics of buffer solutions and the scientific standardization behind them.
Help the monitor died.
Is it? Yeah, it's been going on and off all stream so far, but doesn't matter.
So by the way, the reason why I'm pouring it into a separate container before checking is because I don't want to contaminate the 6.86. Because imagine if there's something alkaline or basic on it. So that's interesting. So is it something about phosphate buffers or something?
Yeah, so it's NIST standard buffered solution. 6.86 is a widely used calibration point because it's based on a phosphate buffer solution, which is a precise and stable reference point established by the National Institute of Standards and Technology.
That makes sense. So like, it might be. So it's easier to find something at 7.86 that's reliable.
Is that
plentifully
Commander?
Available.
Yep.
Compared to like an even 7, like a perfectly neutral solution.
Wait, guys, I'll be right back. Or does someone want to let? Is that Jeff Commander right there?
Oh, dude, if that's Jeff. All right, I'm gonna check the door.
If it's not Jeff,
Oh,
All right, so I'm holding down the calibration button. And see, now it's going to calibrate to 6.86. Jeff Commander is here.
What up? What
We've
up,
got
what
great
up?
plans. All right, so now that this is here, right, we can check. So we guessed, and this is what we were talking about a little, where is this fish tank, we thought it was around 8, it looked like. So it was hard to see whether it was like 7.5 or 8. So I'm going to try, let's see how this is looking. Huh. Let's get this in here.
Also, a reminder to folks to make sure they're cleaning their pH meters in between each use, rinsing it off with fresh water.
So it's interesting. This one's right
As well
around.
as keeping it a little moist while you're not using it, keeping the sensor a little moist, letting them dry out often throws the calibration off quicker.
So true, and yeah, this one's being a little buggy, and this is a pretty new one. It's taking a while to kind of get up. It's saying 7.0, and this is the reason why I like these meters. Can be a pain in the butt. They can be really slow. pH is also affected by temperature. So if you're moving the temperature around, I guess the meter almost needs to adjust to that.
Almost let them sit for 10 minutes and just like see, let it balance out, right?
Yeah, so I think we're gonna need to do that because this guy is. Yeah, it's taking forever. It's still pulling upward. So I don't know. This is taking. It's sometimes. I'm surprised because this meter was very quick a week ago. So I don't know why suddenly it's taking so much time to drift upward.
Huh.
And this is why I go back to using those droppers.
Oh, just drifted downwards.
It keeps going down and back up. You know what? Let's try another meter.
That would be an interesting one, yeah.
This is the thing, right? Like your meters. Look out! Even the best meters, even the expensive meters. Oh, this one's taking so long though. Let's come back to this, I guess. Let me mess with the different meter.
Got it.
All right. Maybe we'll take a little sample of this water. Let's sit.
Oh, buddy, so you're still with the seam going through the desk mic.
Oh yeah. Okay. How do we get the portable mic going?
Well, so
Oh no, this is what's miking. The 14, the foam.
14 MBR microphone?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's
Okay.
what it says. Oh, swear jar.
Got it.
Wait. Yeah, let's do an intro. This is my boy. This is my best friend from childhood, Jeff Commander. He's here. So any questions you guys have, he's been a guide in my life, and he'll answer anything about pH tonight. Anything.
He's,
So thanks for coming tonight. Yeah.
he's
a
got
lot of
a
pH
PhD,
pressure. He's
if
got
you
a
will.
pH. Oh.
Oh no.
So we're so old. We got to tell some bad jokes. All right. So that meter wasn't working very well. Do we want to try to set up a new meter? What do you guys think?
Sure.
yeah, second meter for
Oh,
sure.
we got.
This
Thank
is
you.
Wonderful space. Look at this amazing space.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate some validation on that point because but then you get the meters, right? And you sit there and you're like, how wrong is it? What's it at right now? I guess it does seem to be leveling off around 7.3, so it took only about a minute, but when the camera's on and you're just waiting, you know, there might be a couple people waiting for you, it feels like longer. I'll stop rambling.
Yeah, no, I've run into the same problem too, because I usually use the little like litmus test strips,
Yep.
and sometimes like the gradation of colors is like where is this exactly?
Yep.
But you know,
It's pretty. Yeah.
if it's
Let's check it out. Let's pH this flood table though, right? So this is the one we showed last week, which we got the worms in. And so I'm gonna drain some of this res back. And man, the worms have just let a nice little film on. So all right. So let's see. This is really alkaline. One interesting thing, I used to do this recirculating system with just worms. Maybe it's low in batteries, and that's what the problem might be.
oh yeah.
So
what
this
does
is
that
very
really mean?
alkaline, actually. So that's interesting. All right, so what I'm going to use, this is a pretty big reservoir. And so what I'm going to add to this guy to pH it, which I pull over, since it's at 7.8, is some citric acid. You could use phosphoric acid. Oh yeah, and a few options, right? Phosphoric acid is really popular. This is also phosphoric acid. I've got powdered citric acid, which I'm going to use in this situation because it's more cost effective.
You're telling me that's not sugar?
It's like the Sour Patch Kids sugar.
Ah.
I
Is
think,
it really?
right?
Can I taste a little bit of it?
Ask ChatJT.
Oh,
Ask ChatJT that one. ChatJT. Let's ask him.
oh man, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT is going to say, I cannot confirm.
Can you eat citric acid? It's food grade.
Is it food grade? Okay.
So we sell
Cool.
it. So if you're a customer, it's not food grade because we're not food grade, but it what? Yeah.
Originally food grade.
Eats
Once upon a time.
acid.
Once upon a time.
I think it's what's all over. Yes. All right, should we do it?
Good language.
I mean, I'm new.
Pucker up, Buttercup.
I'm curious. Right?
Whoa.
Sweet, it's tart.
I bet, right?
Warheads.
Ooh,
Oh, I gotta give that a go.
yeah. That's not. Oh yeah, that's the warheads right
Pretty
there.
good, actually.
It's delicious. Don't trust me with that.
I mean, I can't believe
want
I'm
it.
going to go pour this into a fish tank with a bunch of molasses. I mean, molasses in this, mix it
Making
together.
The fish will love it.
That's going to give me some heartburn. All right, so the way I'm going to do this guy, I'm going to post pothos out of the way. So this is, by the way, an ebb and flow with just biochar as the medium, which is probably why it's becoming more alkaline. But I'm going to pour this in. You know what? I
How
should
long
measure
ago did
this.
you make the
What am I
biochar?
doing? This is not the way. What's that?
How long ago did you make
I
the
actually didn't
biochar?
make this biochar. I bought this.
Fantastic.
In bulk. But I do love. I love making biochar.
See,
It's so
usually-
fun. In my methodology, I have this big pit, and I'll just dig a pit, get a fire going, throw in more wood on top of it, and then I'll bury that and put some sand on top and dirt, and then water that on.
Yep.
So it like seals it, and it comes out really good.
So I was going to say with regards to adding chemicals, right? So typically you don't want to dump like a powdered chemical directly into your water. It's
No.
better to like dilute it.
Yep.
You know,
that's
make sure
where-
it's mixed nicely.
And so he's so right. And the reason why I'm doing it this way today is because I'll show you. I'm mixing, but to his point, like I wouldn't just dump it in the flood table, but I'm going to try to sprinkle this in as it drains out, and it's going to basically be my mixing methodology. So watch, I'm going to pull this plug, and I'm putting 250 mLs. I'm sorry, 100. Because it's 150.
That's clever, dude. That's a
So
good idea.
yeah, so it kind of just stirs, and I just do it slowly. That way, it breaks up as it drains.
You're going to end up recirculating that water, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And so now it's all draining here, and the nice thing is, it's not going to be creating like really heavy
Yeah,
acidic pockets, right? Because now
pockets.
it's got a long ways back to the pump, back up to the plants. So I don't have to worry. And I'll check it, and I'll probably check it tomorrow because sometimes you'll add pH, adjustments. And actually, this was a really interesting fact, though. Do you know what the difference between a base and an alkaline is? So an alkaline is soluble in water, right? So calcium carbonate, which is the ingredient in a lot of stuff, like pH buffers, it takes a while until it becomes a solution, and it's not alkaline. So in solid form, right, like in an oyster shell, right, until it's dissolved, so calcium hydroxide.
Oh.
Right,
So,
so-
like a pre.
And I definitely,
It's like before it mixes into your solution. That's an alcohol. It has the potential.
to
become
the
a
problem I
base.
have, like a lot of the pH adjustments are calcium carbonate or carbonate based, and those ones, and I've noticed this, like if you mix your nutrients up and then you check back later, it'll keep drifting, especially with calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate takes a while to break down. So, yeah. All right, so we can check it. I mean, I guess let's take a check now. Where did I put that meter?
Oh, Jeff's got it.
Yeah, thanks, bud. Jeff, thanks for coming, bud. I know you came along.
It was a bit of a hike, but I haven't seen you in a while, so.
True. Well, you're not allowed to leave for like 2 months now. So check this out. So right on here, it's at 4.6, so that's where all the citric acid moved. So just to put in perspective, that's, I guess you're moving from 8 to 10 to that's 10. So it's logarithmic, as meaning if you go from 7 to 6, from 6 to 5 is 10 times more than from 5 to 6, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes absolute sense.
Wait.
No,
Jeff,
that did
Jeff's
not-
the guy that I talked to. Jeff, can you please explain to the people
Wait,
how pH works?
Well, I don't know the specifics on pH, but
logarithmic scales.
Logarithmic scales I'm a little rusty on, but one way to think about it is almost like with audio. So decibels, the amount of power behind a decibel doubles for each increase. So 2 decibels is double 1 decibel, which makes sense. 3 decibels is double 2 decibels, which is kind of where things break down a little bit. And when you're dealing with audio equipment, for example, the potentiometers, which are basically the dials that control the like volume, for example, they don't run on a linear scale because decibels do that weird thing. So they go like very, very small, and then as you get higher, it jumps up.
Same thing as earthquakes as well.
Interesting.
So the difference when you have a magnitude, a higher magnitude, the difference between the numbers is much more significant.
Yeah, so the difference between 30 decibel and 31 decibel is way, way more than the difference between 1 decibel and 2 decibel.
So it was like this stat, right? Like that. I was reading. I was reading up on the most acidic acid rain ever recorded was in Los Angeles in 1980, and it was 2.4, I believe.
Terminator?
And normal
Is-
rainwater is like what was it?
That's magic for
5.6, and no, it's so carbon dioxide. Anyways, long story short, going
okay.
from
Carbon
5.6
dioxide for
to
the acid rain.
2.4, it's 1,600 times more acidic. Isn't that nuts?
Yes.
Damn.
So, all right, let's check the fish tank up here. And this one, I love these continuous monitors, especially in fish tanks. I don't know why more people don't use them with fish tanks. Nick, you should 100%. I don't know if you've
Sorry.
seen these continuous
I wanted to
monitors.
go check the screen real quick.
Yeah. Hello, friends.
Actually, Jeff, you want to see if there are any questions? I can try. If there's comments somewhere.
I love how we're just. All right, so I'm sorry, friends.
Aw,
They're like
these guys are great. Oh man, look at those.
I love these
Those
guys.
are some beautiful discus.
Dude, I want to do a. I want to.
Wow.
Discus are amazing. They're such.
I
Out
love-
of any fish I've ever cared for, like they're such unique. Each one has like such an independent personality. I could tell you about. Like this guy over here. He's a real sweet guy. He's kind of bigger. Doesn't get pushed around by anyone, but gentle. She's the mom of Zippy over there, and she's feisty. She's a tough girl. That guy right there, that's Dimples, the big pretty one with blue and red. He's a frat boy. He's just goes around trying to bully people.
That's like Jack Dempsey colors.
No
almost.
offense to frat boys. Sorry. It's
Well, it's
unfair
a
stereotype.
it's
I shouldn't.
temporal.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's plenty of.
You can hang. You can party. Is what you're saying.
Well, no, he's just kind of a bully, actually.
Oh, okay.
So.
Fair enough.
No, he's just a really like big, like he's just like
Yeah.
I don't know. He's
No digs on.
tough dude.
It's
Yeah,
full,
see, he's
full
picking
spectrum.
on people.
Everything
Anyways.
good. The
So, all right, so
the
this
stereotype
pitch.
is not the truth.
So I love these continuous monitors, especially if you have like a hydro system or an aquarium. Because I know this pH meters actually needs to be calibrated, so that's one thing to be aware of. But at the end of the day, I come here and if it's shifted is what matters, right? So if I come in here and all of a sudden the pH is shifting, that means something's going on, or the EC. Either a meter's broken or there's some issue happening. So this pH, I believe, is probably going to be around 6.4. So it's slowly adjusting, but you can see, that is not accurate. So this is actually, yeah, all right. It's starting to
Interesting.
stabilize, yeah.
I mean, that's it. So, what we learned earlier with regards to logarithmic scales when it comes to pH, it looks like a very substantial difference, but like where you're actually getting closer to 7 on that
Yep.
compared to the 6.1. So the difference now keep in mind, I have no idea how sensitive different organisms are. I mean, it runs the gamut.
So the closer to 7, though, a shift becomes less and less significant. Is
Right.
that true?
Yeah, that's
7 is neutral, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
7 is neutral. It's where.
The closer you get to 7, the less significant, less drastic of a change you're going to get.
So 6.5 to 7.5 compared to 6.5 to 6. 6 would be a bigger. If you went from 7.5 to 6.5, what's bigger, 7.5 to 6.5 or 6.5 to 6?
The first one.
Oh,
Wait. 6.5 to 6? Sorry, that one's bigger.
Yeah, I was about to
Second
say.
yeah.
one, my bad.
And you wouldn't think that, right? Like, as someone
Yeah,
who sees
because
them,
it-
especially knowing 7's the neutral point, it feels, whenever it shifts over that line, it feels like, because of our terminologies, right? Or I guess there's a real thing to it. It's about pure water.
Well, so it's also kind of handy to have that sort of scale of things, because otherwise your charts end up, massive. At least from a charting perspective.
Yeah.
It's easier to do. Like, you're more of a financial guy as well.
Well, it gives you the option to have an infinite area within a finite boundary.
And
Because as you get closer to the edge, the numbers become more and more significant, become more and more blown up, that you essentially get to a point that you wouldn't actually be able to measure.
And it's relative in terms of percentages to each point along the line.
Yeah, there's a way to measure the percentages based on the mapping, yeah.
I'm gonna call it here. It seems to be drifting up and down, 6.5 to 6.6. So, yep, it's funny. It's like I am aware of this guy being about 0.5 wrong. I think I tried calibrating it and then it just kept going in there anyways. It's a really old meter and the probe's old too. So I'm not sure if something's going with that. But
get build up
I'm just
on
watching that number and I know where it's actually
Yeah,
at. But
yeah.
for the longest time I
As
did
long as
think
it's a
I was
static
running this
drift,
one at 6.1
right?
and I actually was like, it was going really well for these guys, so I started adjusting that guy down, my other discus tank over there, and now realizing like I think the 6.5 is really, like, it seems to work really well with the aqua.
I mean, they seem very, very happy, very comfortable.
Yeah, they're a happy crew.
Like, honestly, that's the gauge when you can tell when a fish tank is going wrong because, they get all twitchy, they get, aggressive, they might get cagey. There's behavioral changes.
Yep.
And, you spend enough time looking at fish, you can kind of gauge when they're feeling comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, like, that is a super comfortable discus tank right there.
It's funny, they take a while to get used to each other. This is the other thing that really blew me away about these guys. Like, I had to make some shifts because these 6 wound up just being bigger and a little more strong than the other 3, and I split the other 3 out because I noticed they were getting picked on a little bit. Dimples, actually, the guy I was mentioning, was a bully. He was a pair with Lorraine in the other tank.
So that's where you learned
And
it.
just beat her up a bunch. And, like, he did it once 2
Oh,
years
boy.
ago. Never happened again. And then it came in one day and he had been doing it. And
Oh,
so
no.
he got pushed over here. And then
It's
I
the
put
other
some
way
smaller buds with her. And it takes a while for them to really adjust to a new crew.
Yeah.
They're just getting there. I'm worried about this guy, actually. This one seems to be doing okay. I'm a little worried about that orange one right there. He or she seems to be sticking back to that corner a bit. I don't know if it's because she's getting picked on or if she's thinking about laying eggs.
It's tough to
Yeah.
gauge.
It's tough to gauge. The more like, I feel like when I first started, got some discus, I didn't have a clue to stuff. I wouldn't have picked up on it. But,
Yeah, no, it's, I mean, that's one of the advantages we have, as our mental caring species. You get awareness, you build kind of an idea of how the world works and, kind of work within your framework
for sure.
and learn.
So I think you guys want to do a soil pH test because I think this is one of the things that is worth messing with. Let's pick a plant, any plant. Wait, I'll take this. Pick me a plant.
Let's go for this one right here.
Okay. Well, let's get a smaller guy. One I can put in a saucer in water. Let me grab a saucer.
All these plants look pretty big.
Sorry, I'm like I just literally just said.
Pick a plant, any plant.
Any plant, not that guy.
Not that guy.
No, not that one either, no.
It sounded cool.
Just pick this one, this is the one.
This one's awesome.
All right, I need a clean saucer too. I'll be right back. You know what? Pick him.
Oh, check out this dude. Yo, check it out from this angle. It looks like a guy. You see,
like
so
Pan's Labyrinth.
if you can line this up as an elbow.
Dude, that's what I've been trying to make work. Thank you for
Look at
saying
that
it.
thing.
Dude, everyone's like, really? Really? Thank you. You're the first person who's ever
It's very
said that.
Pan's Labyrinth of a plant.
Yeah.
I've actually, it was better for a period, and then it was like, oh, I don't want to cut its growth too much. I love seeing its hair go wild. That looks less like a human. And then this actually was touching before, but now it's split apart. I need to get some wire on it probably. I was just given 2 beautiful bonsai back there behind us. I put them behind us by one of the kindest customers. If he's in the audience, Ben, thank you so much. They're beautiful. They're in the
Thank you, Ben.
background. I hope you see them. Proud of them. I'm gonna water them, but not too much.
Right.
it's so hard with plants. Like sometimes when you love them, you totally overlove them, especially with something that's a cactus or like a desert going plant, because just leave it alone.
It's like, why is my plant dying? Water more.
Dude,
That's like the
100%
first
plants you care
response,
about
right?
die every time when you overcare.
Overwatering, underwatering, biggest issue.
Yeah, just let them be.
That
There's an appropriate amount of love.
Actually, is there a way to tell?
You want to do that, guy?
So like if you're overwatering versus underwatering, is there a difference in?
So the effects, unfortunately,
So
look the same.
They do.
But
Oh.
the best thing to do is go by the weight of your pot, or the weight of whatever you're growing. Find out what it feels like when it's full, and then that's your measure of have I been overwatering or underwatering. You know. Also, if you're getting mold in any of your plants, or mold or any green in your soil, which is very
that's an
very
emergency
common,
situation.
you're just you've been overwatering, so just let it drain out a little bit. Any sign of soil gnats usually is a good indicator that you've been overwatering, because they love that moisture. And when the soil is dried out, their eggs don't have anywhere to live.
So soil gnats. I mean, I haven't heard of them before.
They come in a lot of commercial soil. You'll get a lot of they just bury themselves in the soil, and they wait for moisture. And once it's moist, they just pop out. So you'll see little things flying around, especially if you brush your hand over the top of your plant. Sometimes you'll see bugs flying over the top of them.
You can manage Chat JT, okay?
And they
my God.
eat the plant, they eat the roots. Or,
I think they eat roots. I think they eat
The chat
roots.
prompt.
Yeah.
Jeff is
I just know they're annoying.
manager of Chat JT.
All right.
Wait, which chair was broken earlier? All right, this brown guy.
yeah, squeaky boy.
Was this a squeaky one?
No, I think that one was.
Okay. All right. We can now switch. Nick, you want to put the cameras however you think is good?
Yeah. Let's go back to the.
Should clear a bunch of this out, huh?
What was it? Out. Yeah, that's our original angle, I think.
Okay. Move this junk out of the way. Do a calibration solution. All right. So the way I'm gonna water this guy in. I'm gonna water him in. He needs a name. Anyone in the audience? First name from the audience. Sticks. What is this gentleman's name?
All right, we're going back to the.
Oh, sorry.
What was it?
Phone.
Phone. Boom.
What is the gentleman's name? Or a woman's name. I'm not doing names.
Do you know what kind of plant this is?
It's true. Actually, the sway of I mean.
Ask ChatJT. It's a ginseng.
What plant is this?
But I might be in a grafted.
The mandrake is the classic. It's a mandrake.
Is it a mandrake?
Well, no. So the idea is the mandrake is like a root that looks like.
Yeah, right.
I have no idea. Maybe it is.
Okay, right.
If it is, I'll feel extremely vindicated.
Right. You say ginger. Ginger looks like a man, or a woman, or a person.
Oh, so Chat JT needs an upload of a photo of it. That's
Oh.
above my
Picture
pay
of this
grade.
plant.
All right, so
Yeah.
one thing to also consider checking is
Got your camera
what you're
there?
putting in versus what's coming out. So if you're watering in your nutrients and they're going in at 6 and they're coming out at 6.5, you can think your soil in the medium is probably even higher than 6.5, right? It's kind of balancing it out a bit. So I'm going to check. I'm using pure water.
Make sure
here.
you start with a clean collection tray.
Yep.
You could have any leftover.
That was something I was going to grab this other, to your point, dude. There was like another tray. It was like filled with salts.
You're right.
Totally
Gonna throw you off.
would have been whatever, it's like straight buffer. So I'm starting with pure water, clean mug, and I'm gonna wire through kind of slowly.
Now,
Ideally,
are you watering for full runoff, or are you watering for just like 20%?
oh, that's a good question. Just enough to probably get a sample, I guess. But that's a really good question, right? Like, how much should you do? And I'd say this is the big thing. I've seen a lot of. I remember one time this rep from a pH company had like a soil pH meter, right? And I was like, those, and I tried them, and I never had success. And he was like, yeah, these things are great. And he puts it in, and it's like 6. And I was like, oh, really? And then he puts it somewhere else like 8.5, then somewhere else 7. And I think
In the
the
same
problem
plant, in
is
the
like
same-
where you're in a soil pockets, right? Like if you have a little piece of lime there, a little oyster shell, right? Like it's gonna change it. So it's like all these different pockets. So you want to get like the net sum for the most part.
Yeah, I don't really go by the soil pH meters. I really think
Yeah.
you got to use the runoff. To your point, you're running into so many different things in how many cubic inches
Yeah.
of soil.
Dude, for
You're
sure.
gonna run into so many different minerals.
Especially in a yard, right? I like it. I found it's better to just like kind of look at it. Like if you see a ton of moss in an area and stuff like that, like it's probably acidic, you know.
Right. If you
So-
got mushrooms growing in your yard,
Yeah.
great, it's very moist. But you
Yeah.
can't, you know.
Absolutely. But it's tricky. You can take like soil samples from an area, but usually, you know, at least my yard's kind of rocks in different places. So.
New England.
Yeah, dude. Oh, so the thing I am worried about a little is this is, I think it was pretty dry because now I'm seeing that the runoff is real clear. And I'm going to give it a sec to kind of absorb some of this water. I might dump the
Just
water
gonna-
on this tray out.
Dip this in for the clear. That's some very clear runoff.
So this is basically water. If it's so dry, it becomes hydrophobic, and then the water I put in is just basically running right through. So I'm
Yeah.
probably going to get another saucer. I'll be back. In the meantime...
Do we have any name suggestions?
Oh, any name suggestions? No name suggestions.
Mandy Reisman. I don't know if it was a greeting.
Mandy
That
Reisman
was a
wrote Commander.
No, that was early. That was early.
I mean,
I saw it earlier.
oh yes, it's 100%. That's beautiful. I love that. Its
All
name
right,
is Commander.
All right.
I can't think of a better name.
You have been named. Prince.
Oh, I'm gonna, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
tear
just
up.
gonna, I'm gonna take terrible care of this thing, and I'm gonna shape it
Oh no.
with you in mind.
Oh boy.
I
Its
mean, that's
future
a-
has changed.
It's
That's changed.
Voodoo
Future's changed.
level, like.
So, yeah. Do you guys want to read some fun facts?
Sure. Yeah.
Can someone read these while I go get a saucer?
Let's do it. Sure. Yeah. We got some fun facts.
We're gonna switch the.
I think these are over here. So, folks didn't know that pH actually stands for potential of hydrogen, or the power of hydrogen. pH is also a measure of how acidic or basic a substance is based on.
They don't actually know, by the way, whether it's the power of or what the origin of P is. It could be because chemists put the letter P on stuff, or there's no mystery. I heard.
the P is
but
a
power
mystery.
makes sense.
Power does make sense.
I love it. Right?
Although I
Max
kind of
power.
wonder. So the so phosphorus
Shout out
you
to
were
Max
talking
Power.
about earlier. So I might as well pop on it because it is a legit question. So you were mentioning with the 7.68 calibration point.
Yep.
That was some kind of phosphorus, right?
Was that phosphorus, or was that? I think that was the point where they could get the most.
Yeah, the
Base
whatever
level
medium,
reading for
the
it.
consistent
Right,
medium,
right,
larger
whatever.
scale.
Was it? It should be still up here.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about that.
Was it phosphorus?
But I mean, if the P is known as
Here it is.
mystery,
Yeah, phosphate buffer solution.
phosphate, so
Yeah.
it could have something to do with that.
Yep.
I don't know.
Right.
It's all speculation.
It's all speculation.
I'm not
So-
cracking the case anytime soon, though.
And honestly, I found that if you're not, as long as you're not using too much nutrient, it's better to use less feed
Right.
and just let the water flow through.
Well, so that's something I've just noticed about life, right? So like, you want to make sort of gentle interactions when you're trying to adjust basically anything, you know, because it's easy to overdo.
Anything.
What's
You
up,
know,
Mike?
You don't know necessarily how much power you might have in terms of adding whatever.
Right.
So you do a little at a time, you scale it up. In fact, some may say like logarithms,
Yep.
you know, follow the same kind of thing. Do your little adjustment. Okay, that only moved this far. Do more, you know, to get it where you need.
My nana used to say, "You can always take it off, but you can't put it on." Right? You
Bingo.
know, it's the same concept, right? You know, you want to be prepared.
Hey, Flanagan, what happened to the microphone?
There's a
Mike's
little
on
one
the
here.
table right there.
No, but like, where is the receiver part?
Receiver part.
Yeah,
This little thing here.
That
The thing
wasn't-
that's on the table.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, that's why it wasn't working. Wait, guys, sound's about to get better.
It's good to
So
get
this is the
better,
receiver,
man.
and then we'll pull out the actual mic.
Wait, I thought that was the actual mic.
No.
You're-
So wireless
you're-
mic.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
no,
No,
there's
dude, it's the
lights
same
on.
thing.
What?
There's lights on.
I
it.
It looks
asked
the same.
you.
It looks the same. That's why. They should have made it a
There's
different
the other
color.
one.
I freaking asked him, bud. I was like, "Is this the one?" I mean, it's on the freaking.
Well, they look alike. He wasn't paying attention.
There we go.
Kill
Now
him.
I'm
Kill
going to
him.
mute. I'm willing to bet the sound is better now.
Check.
No, I agree, right? So this one actually has like this cool little interface, right? Like if I press this button, it just muted it.
They're the same
Right, so-
microphone.
Or no, wait, didn't mute it. Did it mute it? Oh shoot, I should not have messed with that.
We're figuring this out, folks.
I'm
Bear
really-
with us.
I muted. Okay, sorry.
No, it is going through that one. I saw the fucking meter dip when you. Sorry, pardon my
Dude, the
French.
swear jar. Where is
Swear jar.
Swear jar.
$2.
Listen, no, dude, bro. So you muted that microphone? I literally saw the meter cut. I was going by the meters, my guy. I think that's the one. Mute it again. I dare you. I dare you to mute that mic again.
No, but I muted. check
Try
out,
it.
So
Try it.
there's
Mute
a
it.
little screen that shows the microphone, and so when I click,
Okay. Oh shit.
watch this, because if I yell on this thing, and it's not hearing me very clearly.
No, well, there's a mic right here.
Okay. Let's see.
It's
Yeah,
cut. There's no audio when you had that muted. I'm telling you, dude. I'm pretty sure that's the mic.
watch this.
Okay.
We can go with that. It's the mic.
Let's just keep them together. It's the easiest way.
I don't think playing is wrong. He's wrong. Oh wait, I brought another
picking
saucer.
it up
Hey
pretty
Mandy,
loud.
if you haven't tuned out yet, which is okay if you have, can you remember that I took 2 saucers out of inventory? Okay. So yeah, so that's. Let's see. Let's put that somewhere here.
No, he's right. Oh, he's
I'm
right.
just kidding. Yeah, I'm right. All right.
So wait, that thing was recording us from over there the entire time?
Apparently.
Oh.
So, let's pour a little more.
Glorious. Oh, the reverb. Think of the reverb.
I'm gonna go a little slower this time. I'm gonna be a little more patient, a little more gentle. There's no reason. Maybe we, Flan, you want to switch to the phone?
All right.
Because now it just weirdly looks me and Commander are just sitting next to each other and no one else is here. Not even ChatGPT.
Dude, I wasn't paying attention. I'm still reeling. I'm reeling.
I think we should put ChatGPT back up on the TV.
It's too, I think you're getting a lot of lights behind you. Remember how the lights...
Oh, that did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But just for a moment, yeah, okay. Okay. Did you switch it to the, yeah. All right, so, Matt and Jeff here. Jeff, so I'm gonna pour gently
Very gentle.
along Commander. The rock behind Commander that he sits on. You like that?
I do.
They positioned that like that. He was tipping along and
I mean, there is a resemblance.
He's stoic. He's stoic.
Yeah.
He's stoic.
Hand
Thoughtful.
in
He's thoughtful. Okay, well, now we officially know if Jeff isn't on the show and we need to have chat Jeff, it's going to be just a picture of this guy. Or just this guy, right? Yeah, of course. That's way easier than, I don't know if people have seen this guy looking at me all night. Zoom in on his face, watch when he stares and nods his head, because it's weirdly timed for when I ask questions. Watch this. There was a head shake and there was a head nod. The head nod. I've asked questions and his head nodded to me multiple times tonight, and it has been amazing.
I mean, it's like having a real JT here.
It really is.
Yeah.
It was violent.
Well, no, we're talking.
Just joking. First I've ever met. Where is he? That's what he made me say. So if you don't show up to one of the shows, guys, there will be an AI bot and we'll tell the world you're a violent person when you're not. That's not even funny. I'm sorry, that's a bad joke. That's not good. JT is the gentlest human I've ever known. He rehabs possums. Is he calling right now?
No.
Dude, we were talking about the Boston humor last episode, right? Like, you say something that's like the opposite of what's true, and people don't always get that.
It's a very dry.
It's super dry.
Super dry.
Like the Brits got nothing on us in terms of the dry humor.
But sometimes it's not dry at all. It's like very direct. Like I remember when I lived in Colorado, I came back on a flight. I was at like Logan Airport, Mandy, and I still joke about like use it when someone's struggling to say something. And it was like 6 in the morning, taking a ride. I was like, can I have a coffee and a and then it was like bow tie. I was like, welcome to Boston. Yeah, I was like, I missed you here. It's awesome. Not used to that. Midwest.
Yeah.
I remember friends I had would be like, you know, when I first met you, I didn't understand like you were being sarcastic, and I just thought you were an asshole. And then I got to know you and realized you were being sarcastic and you're an asshole. And you're an asshole.
Oh, also,
Yeah,
our audio has been doubled for the last since Matt came over here. Now it's muted.
Sorry, peeps. All right, so slow runoff, getting a little more drip here, but you know.
Yeah, very
Because
slow.
I think,
but
sorry
it's still
about.
pretty clear.
I
though.
gotta say, I started to wonder whether Commander was dry, but he's got such a big pot, but he was dry. He was dry.
It still looks pretty clear though. What do you
Yeah,
think?
it's still pretty clear. I think, you know, we should probably. I should have had a better game plan for what I would do with the runoff. I'm just taking more saucers out of inventory. So should I just take? I'm sure Mandy's gonna be thrilled. I'm like, I took 7 saucers out of inventory for this. And
I
I'm
mean,
dumping the runoff. Like, why didn't I just? I only need 1. I guess I could get. Let me be. I'm gonna use my brain.
oh.
Yes.
That never ends well.
It never has ended well. Massachusetts.
There you go.
Did you see that? That was, look what I just did. Rather than getting another saucer, I just poured it in here. I'm gonna put it back over here.
All right, so you're not worried about contamination from that little bit of residue.
There? Well,
Well, it's still.
we literally were like worried there wasn't enough contamination
Yeah, exactly. That's
to
what-
take
I
a
didn't think
measurement.
about that.
So I think any contamination, I was even, to be honest, if people weren't looking at, and you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna run this back through, and one of the reasons I'm gonna do it right is it's gonna be stickier. And what I mean by that is like water struggles to bond to water, but now there's all sorts of particulate in there and things that are called, if you ever heard the term surfactants, things like aloe, they basically make water stick to surfaces, and soap's a good one for pesticides. And so I think this will actually bind up better, and maybe I should be adding a little bit of aloe into this. But you know what, that'll screw the pH, so let's try not to.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is like, you know, it's like from the pot, so it's not cheating.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Yeah, because
Recirculation.
Oh, and here's a metaphor I have, right? A good metaphor for pH. Sometimes people ask, you know, should we pH before we add the nutrients, like with pure water, right? And the way, what I try to say is like, imagine this is like a big club, right? And you're like, neutral is equal amount of guys and girls, let's say, or whatever ratio of demographic, you know, I don't know. So, and you're like, all right, we want to keep it about that, right? We don't want like 90% dudes in this club, right?
yeah,
And so you're like, take a measurement before the club opens, right? Which is the pure water before you've added the nutrients. And you're like, all right, there's like 6 staff members in here, right? And it's like, all right, we're 50-50 guys, girls, right? And then you like, just open the doors and don't measure again. And 1,000 people pour in, and now all of a sudden there's 900 guys and 100 women, and the ratio is way, way off. So basically, what I'm saying is like the more soluble material there is, the harder it is. There's gonna be more things buffering the pH, and it's gonna be harder to shift it one direction or the other.
I don't think we actually talked about, so like, I know we're pretty late in it now, but like acids versus bases chemically,
Ooh. Yeah.
right? H versus OH.
Yeah.
I know it has something to do with that.
Oh my gosh, let's ask Chat JT.
all right. So
Here, I want to get this camera on this guy.
H
Look at you.
versus OH.
We miss you here.
Oh, I have
What
to
do you
scroll
think,
down.
Chat JT?
Yeah, the ions, right? So they're like variants of water.
How's that angle?
And so I guess I think it has something to do with like the number of electrons.
Maybe back in front of the monitor. There you go.
Because I know, so in terms of the effects, right? So acids are hydrogen ions, and they try to pull.
So it has to do with the charge of the molecule.
Yeah. Well, they're different molecules, though, right?
Yeah, but they are, but they have different ions from the hydrogen. So hydrogen by itself has a positive charge, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Like
And
a
then-
proton.
And then hydrogen oxide, hydroxide, I should say, has negative charge.
So an OH negative,
There you
right?
go.
Which makes sense.
So
and
you
then
put
water
it
has a balanced charge because, well,
Well, it's a complete group, right?
Well, it's a complete group, but it is it does have a slight polarity to it.
Dude, should I try to pull up like an image on the screen for us?
Hey, go
that
for
would
it,
be-
dude.
yeah, that would
that's
be
like
great.
just a stream test, because like that's what we need is like the ability to have like a web browser on there.
But yeah, it's actually the polarity of water that makes it form crystals when it freezes. Also allows it to go up the tree because it has a natural tendency to stack, even in a liquid form.
Interesting. And I know like there's a bunch of different crystalline structures of water.
Yeah, and it's all because basically you have your oxygen atom, and you have two little hydrogen atoms. Oxygen is gigantic compared to hydrogen, and the way that the chemical bonds form. And I am 30 years from my
Our audio is doubled again, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm 30 years from my last chemistry class. So
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
been a while.
exact terminology, but you know the way that they share, the way that they form a chemical bond is they share the electron. They share hydrogen's electron. Excuse me. Yeah, they share hydrogen's electron. And what happens is the oxygen is so much bigger. Oxygen hugs it. It pulls the electrons closer to it, and it gives the oxygen atom a bit of a negative charge, and the hydrogen atom's a bit of a positive charge. And then they end up stacking because they look like a little triangle, like a little arrowhead.
That's an ionic bond versus covalent. I mean, this is why we wish JT was here to a degree.
Again, I don't remember. I don't remember
It's
what
been
kind
so
of bond
long.
it is, but it's the one where they share the electron rather than because in some bonds.
Huh.
It's a matter of one molecule takes the electron of the other one, and that creates the polarity. And
Maybe that's the ionic.
I think that might be ionic bonding.
Actually, I feel like this is a perfect
yeah.
chat JT question.
JT, how do we answer this question? Thank you for nodding. That was very.
I mean,
creepy.
honestly, I would.
Different
Does anyone in the audience know?
chemical bond types.
I feel like the microscope was like a big draw for last time.
Okay, so yeah, we're absolutely right. So ionic bonds, electrons are transferred from one atom to another, creating ions. The bond forms due to the electrostatic attraction between the oppositely charged ions. So, like, if I'm guessing that's how hydroxide is made because there's only one. So oxygen steals the electron, and that makes the hydrogen negative or positive, and the oxygen negative, and then they
Yeah,
connect
yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
Oh, right.
Whereas the covalent bonds is
Oh,
where they share
covalent.
Yep.
Right? Because the valence, right? I remember this term.
Yeah, and that's where they
So-
both use the electron together.
But the valence of various electrons has to do with like the height in terms of the shell, like,
Yes.
and so if they share an actual orbit of electrons, then that probably is a covalent bond.
Dude, my head hurts. I don't know about anyone else. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. I did not do well in chemistry though, if I remember
All
correctly.
right, let's see.
It's been a long time.
Let's go back to live mode. And does this give anyone an explanation?
So yeah, so you can see the hydrogen or the
Water split, the water molecule there.
the hydrogen monoxide. I like to use the fancy term, but yeah, the water molecule. So yeah, those two hydrogen molecules, you can see that they're not opposite each other. They're kind of on the same side of the oxygen.
Wait, guys, they're not seeing it yet. Sorry.
Yeah,
I gotta
dihydrogen
publish,
monoxide.
I gotta
Right.
publish.
Oh,
You know, there's a lot of deaths
Wait.
from dihydrogen monoxide every year.
oh, there are quite a few. No, that's
There
a
you go.
big.
Now tell people.
Okay, so yeah, you can see the water molecule, the hydrogen monoxide, two hydrogens, one oxygen. So yeah, oxygen is so much bigger than hydrogen. They're technically sharing hydrogen's electrons because hydrogen only has one electron. It's very tiny, but oxygen is just saying, you know what, I'm bigger. I'm gonna take it a little closer to me and make it more mine. And that gives the oxygen the negative charge and the hydrogen the positive charge. And as you can see, since the hydrogens are on the same side, that makes the whole system polarized. Whereas if they were on opposite sides, they would kind of cancel out a little bit.
This is still our main cam. Holy
Wow. All right.
So hydrogen by itself is has one electron. Now the talking about the shells of electrons to Nick's point, the first shell can only contain 2 electrons, and molecules, they very much like to have their shells full, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah.
Atoms
they
like
gotta
to
have
have
it.
their shells full.
Well, it's
Love.
the ionization right there.
Their shells to just be full.
Yeah. So, or empty. In the case of hydrogen ion, it's basically it decided to get rid of its electron. So the hydrogen ion, positive hydrogen ion, it would just be, I believe, the neutron and the proton. So that would be like one of the smaller atoms you can possibly get, I think.
Do you agree, Jay? Do you agree with this chat? He nodded. Dude, see what I mean? Did you see that? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, he nodded. He agreed.
As soon as I ask him, every time he's been nodding. It's wild.
Now, does he ever shake his head? But
He shakes his head quickly. It's fat. See, there he goes. A little head shake. Head nod. Yeah.
okay.
So
I
that's what
crushed
you
the
need.
clip.
You need to have for the clip. You need to have a no and a yes and a like.
Interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Do you guys
So you've
want-
got to time
I don't
all your
understand.
questions
I made this short.
exactly.
Do you want to hear something that's crazy, right? So water, rainwater, right? Starts off neutral, right? Like, and I have to let me read my facts. I'm really
It was a
embarrassed.
5 to 6, I think, for rainwater, right?
Yeah. So it's nuts. So, you know what causes it? It's pH to go up. Let me see my notes. Sorry. Do you know what causes rain's pH to increase? And this is wild because think about it, it's very relevant.
So I remember the carbon. It's
Carbon dioxide?
falling
Yeah,
through
yeah,
carbon
yeah.
dioxide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How, Commander, I don't like chemistry. How the heck did you know that?
I don't think Commander
a
was even
guess.
here for that
Okay,
conversation.
wait. Yeah, I mean, here, let's put it back. You want to put it back to the whole screen again? Do you mind that? Oh, Flynn, the
Yeah,
keyboard's
I
right
got
there,
it.
dude.
Oh, he's doing it
It's
his way.
easier to just get.
Totally. Yeah, we got to figure out our side. So yeah, so as rainwater falls, CO2 in the atmosphere makes it more acidic because CO2 dissolves. Dude, I got another squeaky chair.
Camera in the shot.
It
We need some
dissolves
WD-40.
into the water, making it more acidic, and because our CO2 levels are higher, water is more acidic. Rainwater is more acidic. Not like the LA rainwater, but it's also kind of cool that I was thinking about, like, we used to have we're old enough to remember acid rain, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
stuff would just that was a big deal, man. Like, that would like
Eating
melt.
cars.
And eating cars,
Right,
man.
right,
It was
right.
like literally melting cities.
And it's still a thing.
Dude, Jeff, Little Commander, is this Big Commander or Little Commander, by the way?
This is Little Commander, I think. I mean, I got about 200 pounds on him. I
So,
think.
yeah. So it's kind of wild to think like how, like, it just goes. It's like I don't know about you guys. Like you grow, right? Like I feel like you shift one thing, you take care of chickens. Like it's so unpredictable. Like any little thing that moves, everything else moves. And the lesson to be learned is almost like the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know a damn thing.
I really, honestly, if I just try to simplify, I
Yes.
think we overdo it all the time.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I got a mistake, I gotta add this. Oh, I made a mistake, I gotta add that. That should be taken away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
And just strip things down and try to emulate nature as best as possible.
True.
You know?
And which chicken. Hey, speaking
Well,
of.
with regards to that, seriously, so like nature is the buffer, like that's a big part of, the less you mess with, the more the less you have to deal with like,
Right.
juggling,
No-till
Right?
life. Right. It's like a no-till life, right?
and that's like I'm big on that. So like when it comes to my fish tank, I try to be. I'm not like a full-on no water change type of guy.
Yep.
But I'm all about like minimal maintenance. So it means understocking, underfeeding,
Right.
and allowing the organics that take up the fish tank to proliferate.
Do their job. You
And-
get your snails and you get your catfish in there and you just go for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it's not a sealed ecosystem. I'm topping it off. I'm doing water changes every couple months or whatever.
Yep.
But like if you can have that sort of sustainable environment,
Yep.
it's much easier to maintain. The less you do, the more you arrange things around. Like this is the goal. Like
Yep.
I was talking about the fish earlier, picking fish based off of the pH from my tap water.
Absolutely.
You know,
You want to go with what grows in your area. You know
There
what
you
I
go.
mean? It's
Should
the
we
same,
glockenspiel?
the same way. What'd you say?
Nothing. Last week, there's a sound effect called glockenspiel. Did you listen to it afterwards? Sorry. You know what? I just destroyed a really good conversation. I have severe ADHD. Severe ADHD. There's like a sound effects board on this, so let me see if I can add.
Do-do-do-do.
Yep.
Yeah, the air-
All right,
we got
I'm
the
gonna
air
hit it.
horn.
I'm gonna hit it.
Can I get a
Glockenspiel.
funk flex bomb?
No, it's
There it
that's
is.
the noise.
okay, I
That was
can key
cool.
into
Why
the
did
audio
they
here.
play that for me?
I need a funk flex
But
bomb.
it isn't giving.
It knew that you wanted the glockenspiel.
You hear it?
I mean, you hear it off the
Oh,
earpiece.
yeah.
That's why we got
working
these.
as a monitor. Okay, cool.
Oh,
All right, well, now that I've ruined a great conversation,
Good job, Matt.
sorry about that.
Also, apparently we moved to, I don't even know what shot. What shot was that? Maybe that was the cell phone.
So, yeah, I don't. We can keep going.
It's a
I'm
process.
down. I don't know if anyone's.
What time is it?
We can wrap up.
Nah, what time is it? I can't see.
It is 8:15.
Oh, word. 8:15?
Yeah.
Oh, it's better than I thought. We're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually not too bad.
All right, we're gonna hang for another 15. Let's ask ChatJT some questions.
Let's do it.
Let's lounge now. Maybe we should turn the lights down a little. No.
Garden after
Lights
dark?
down, music
That's
up.
what
You know
this-
what I mean?
Some music. Yep.
We gotta pick something from the YouTube folio for the music, right? So there's like a whole list of like guaranteed approved audio that you can put to stuff.
That's the point in the party. That's when you're supposed to leave the party. You start putting the music on, turn the lights down. Right?
That's us
Didn't we
tuning
all?
out.
Didn't we all just learn this lesson?
We did.
That's
We
when the
haven't even
party starts
checked what
changing.
Little Commander's pH
yeah.
is.
Poor little commander
Just
here.
over here doing his
That
job for
water
no
looks
reason.
so clear. I don't trust.
Nothing
it's
good
actually
happens
from-
after 9 p.m.
I don't know. It's got a bit of a thing to it.
Okay.
Not much, but a little bit.
You know what? I'm gonna run it through one more time.
All right.
One more time,
Just to prove a point.
just to prove a point. Cool. Well, now think about this, right? Like now that it's actually the soil's wet, it's had time for things to solubilize. It's actually gonna have pH.
So just an accurate reading, right?
Or you know what we probably should have done?
You probably should not have
Should
done
have
that
taken-
around the plant. Oh, you're just gonna feed it. Yeah, okay.
Should have taken the pH each time and seen if it actually did change, because that wouldn't have been
Could've, 'cause
hard.
we could've.
Because
Right,
that would
right,
have
right.
not been any additional
Nope.
work. And literally, this is a live stream about pH, and I've just been playing glockenspiels.
It's all right.
Don't worry. You know what? Again, this is episode 2, so we set the bar really low
Right, that's-
last week.
that's-
I don't know if we've raised the bar at all this week.
Actually, I
Probably
feel like
not.
the bar has gone slightly down, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Well, it's only
Yeah,
because
sure. It's only
I have that
'cause-
effect on things, you know,
Right, that's what I'm
listen.
saying.
It's
There are
all
more of
about
us.
it's all about the microscope.
We didn't use
The microscope was a big
It's- you
draw.
know what it is?
JT
It's the real JT's not here.
JT is not here to ground us. That's
Aye.
If he was, he would probably. What would JT do?
Oh.
WWJTB.
Yeah, we really miss him.
We could ask a question.
Where is he? I mean, besides
stuck in
slacking.
traffic.
Something about like needing to have a real career path, and this would jeopardize it. So I said no, not being on the show is going to jeopardize it more. And so we have chat JT.
This is the beginning, and if you're not here for the beginning, then we can't trust you. Right?
Crap,
He had
I knew
to-
I should have
he had
come
to go
down
over
last
something
week.
With his cousin. And so, all right, we're almost there, right?
We got any more comments? Anything over there on the side?
No, it's
bar
quiet.
there?
Quiet. Please, someone talk to us. We're lonely. So lonely. Team America?
Oh yes. Oh God.
I feel like I'm in a job interview for a tech startup with this video here.
Yeah, maybe.
This loop.
Chat JT. It does feel like you're at an interview for tech startups.
And I honestly can't read him at all.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like you're like, did I answer that correctly?
And he does one of these.
Does he even like me? Right.
He's so much more judgmental than normal JT.
That's good.
Those facial expressions, they're overwhelming
poker
mixes of
face
subtle
JT.
emotion.
JT could win some poker games with that.
We need to show this. Like, people.
Poker stream.
People need to see JT.
Dude,
Yeah,
he
that's not going to
just-
do it.
It's not going to do it.
Nah. Although I will say it's better than the big screen.
Yeah, just leave that like that, you know.
The
I can see little
washout.
JT.
That
JT, this
occurred.
is what the show is going to be like if you don't show up.
Right, Matt's gonna be hiding behind Little Commander.
I'm going to just hide behind Little Commander. Okay. pH predictions.
37.
37, close.
All right.
I'm gonna go with a
So-
6'4".
Okay, so tell me
The Flint guy.
let's go over what you added and what your intended adjustment was.
I added water,
Added water.
and I circulated through a few times because it was so dry. Little Jeff Commander was dying.
I see.
It happens.
It's funny. I'm shocked we've underwatered him because most of the plants out there, it's hard to tell with the ceramic pot. 'Cause the ceramic pot's so heavy, and there's a rock here. I can't tell if the soil's wet. But everyone else in the area of him had been overwatered, so I guess I'm making excuses. I'm sorry.
All right. So
I
fresh
He was
water,
showing
my
signs. He
project.
was kind of, I don't know. Anyways,
more particulates.
6.85. It's pretty dialed. Pretty dialed. And here's the thing, right? The TDS,
ppm.
BPM, salt.
It's also and that's the other thing people forget is each plant is going to have its own where it likes to be for ppm, where it likes to be for pH.
Yep.
You know, you really got to find your
And they
specific.
adjust too.
So I'd say, you go to home origin of each plant, right? Where does
Yep.
this thing grow the best? And
Yep.
that's what you're trying to emulate, right?
Yep. It's facts.
I know it's common sense, but
You have to
maybe
accept
not.
the plant for what it is.
You're
It's
trying
one of
to
the things
force
that's
it to
beautiful about
adapt to-
gardening.
right.
You can't force it.
Forcing the plant to adapt to your environment is never going to work.
I think it's easy in other aspects of life to just blame, especially with other people, right? Like if something goes sour with a relationship, right? You can not take responsibility with a plant. It's like,
Now I
blame the
wonder
plant?
with your fish.
The plant has very little
Or the-
agency.
am I
in
gonna
this
blame my
situation.
fish or
It's
my
true.
plants?
But I wonder with your fish now, if you keep them in an environment that's harsh, right?
Yeah.
They will eventually breed and adapt to that environment and become adapt and climatized. Whereas plants, maybe not. You can't really do that.
Well, so
If you
So
gradually.
this is such a segue to next week, which we're gonna raise the bar a little bit next week. Not a lot. It's gonna be about this good, but a little better.
That's
but
how
it's
you get
about
evolution, right? That's how you get
mutants
in
next week.
Mutations.
We're doing
Yes.
mutations next
mutations.
week.
Right.
And speaking of, because JT was telling me,
So-
Dad, that you get wild stuff. I was texting him some weird stats I was reading. So there's diploid, which is 2 chromosomes, triploids, a third, right? Strawberries, domestic strawberries, are octoploid. There are 8 chromosomes, right? Octoploid?
Huh.
I might be. Where's JT?
They got 8 chromosomes.
This is where he missed
Right,
JT.
right, right.
JT would have known all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the smart one.
Yeah.
Let's
I
ask
mean,
him.
without
He's
him,
here.
it's just 40.
He's here.
So I was gonna just.
We haven't been talking to Chat JT.
I was just going to mention, so with regards to adaptation and ability to kind of work with new environments, I think we talked about this a little bit last week, where the faster the life cycle, the more generations you go through, the easier it is to adapt to new conditions. When you're talking about fish, when you're talking about plants individually, those plants may have, or the fish, whatever animal, has a certain range, and the thing is, you can't really do anything to make the range. You can't force the range. Whatever creature you're putting in various conditions, it's not going to be one of the. There can be a bit of an internal adjustment. Like for example, temperature in fish, right? You change that water temperature quick, they go into shock. Their system freaks out.
Right.
You do it slowly, they have a time to adapt.
Yep.
And so there is that factor to it, but in terms of their range,
Do you ever wonder though,
it's not gonna you're not gonna have
do they adapt in some
moving
ways?
forward. Now the fish is comfortable at these
Right,
temperatures.
right.
It's
I
going to
guess
be
I use humans as the barometer. How can we adapt to change? Thanks for the nod, JT. I appreciate that. How can we adapt to those adjustments? How do we adapt to them? If it goes from 60 degrees to 30 degrees in a day, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
But you can deal with it. It just sucks. Versus if it goes from 60 degrees to 10 degrees, I'm probably gonna die. You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
so
like,
Chat JT, because you're so right. Every fall, right, this time of year, right, temps drop. I feel beat up, right?
Yep,
I get,
yep.
everyone does, right?
Oh, yeah.
What's
sun
going on?
We're not
we
used
need
to
that
it.
sun.
What does that mean? Is it
Think about the first day.
what's messing with us?
The sun. We need the sun.
yeah.
we need
That's
the
a
sun.
that's a
Temperature, is
huge
it
part of
sun?
it.
Is it sun?
Human
It's a
beings, we
mix.
need the
It's
sun.
a mix. But think about the first day of the year, or first day of the winter season, where it drops below 40.
Yep.
You freeze your ass
I
off, right?
I thought you were gonna say the D word, Commander.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't.
Where's the swear jar?
I saw it.
I'm getting the swear jar.
The gears, the hamster was running.
That's
This
not-
guy's pock, yeah.
Oh, back to your previous. I'm sorry, I mean the diploid chromosome was correct.
Ah. Excellent.
But like you were saying, we can really only adjust.
Yeah.
The sun is what we need.
Exactly, but but you get to the other side of winter when it's starting to end. 38 degrees feels warm. You
Yeah.
keep your jacket unzipped. You're used to it.
Right.
Now.
You've adjusted.
Is your body adjusted? Is it psychological? Is it both?
I think it was both.
It's gotta be
because,
What's
I mean,
going on? I want to know more.
Well, it's like your grandparents keeping the heat in the house cranked. They don't go outside like we used to. They don't go outside and play. They don't go outside in a t-shirt and a light jacket.
all right.
They're inside under a blanket, warm, so the house is hot.
Chat to
You
JT.
know?
Yeah, he nodded, dude. He literally
he
nodded. He
nodded,
did it
you know?
again.
Did it
Every
again.
time I cycle, it's on.
Appreciate
video.
it.
Okay, so chat JT.
It's like he's here. It really is.
Chat JT. You're dialed, bud. Tell him.
up. Slide.
Why do people feel tired and sick when winter comes? So I asked it. Chat JT. You're dialed, bud. Why do people feel tired and sick when winter comes? Talk to me. Thank you, Matt and
Oops,
Mandy.
upside down. That's why.
Yeah, it's backwards.
Chat
from one of those.
JT, you need to start listening to our episodes because, anyways.
Use bricks fix
All right,
in the soil.
Jeff's
don't
gonna read
fix
this.
it.
All right, well, hold on. Let's address a question from chat real quick. Ben Raddick says, "Use a bricks fix in the soil. Don't fix pH." I'm not sure what a bricks fix is.
Tell us more. Just cool. All right. So what did Chat JTT say?
Oh, about so reduce.
Sad. That's right.
Reduced sunlight gives you seasonal affective disorder, which is
Also known as the SADS.
Really
yes. What happens? Less sunlight means lower vitamin D production and disruptions in circadian rhythms. Makes sense. Melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, production increases, making you feel sluggish. Serotonin, which is the happy drug, levels may drop, contributing to fatigue and low energy.
Oh man, I love my winter naps, man. Autumn naps. That's
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
at.
Can you ask him to summarize this? Just like say. Wait. I think we talked to him.
That was pretty much all of it.
That was the summary.
Wait.
No, but
No,
so
no,
I do some vitamin D supplementation for sure.
Can you say that in one sentence? All right.
See, it doesn't work without it being up on the stream.
Yeah. All right, so check this out, though. This is interesting. Do you guys remember what the pH was the first run? We should have also written it down. TDS.
6.85.
Yep.
I think.
All right, cool. So now it's
6.8 something. It was yeah.
5. It
Now
was
6.8.
6.75.
Oh.
And the ppms have gone from 400 to 450. So if the TDS is going up, it means more is becoming actually solubilized. So let's keep doing this until we see it kind of level up.
All right.
Just goes to show you. I'm like, think about this. This is like a solution of things.
And that's definitely got some color now, though. Water definitely has a nice green hue to it.
Okay. I should probably water it a little slower. Hey, maybe I'll give it a little on top too, just because a little more in the tray. I should have like misted first, probably. That'll slowly water in. Watering technique is something I never anyone talk about with plants.
So that's actually a good question, right? So some
It's
plants
so
have
significant.
leaves really low to the soil. It becomes really difficult to like water around the plant.
Yep.
That's why you need a good watering can with a good spout,
Yeah.
because the balanced watering within the soil helps with even development. You know,
Oh,
you don't want to
totally.
starve.
If you hammer, it's one of the reasons like I like using rice hulls on top or anything, because if you like hammer the top, you're compressing the soil if you water too quick. It's like watering is the way you water is so much more impactful than one might think. Bottom watering is great for that reason. So pouring water through the saucer when they wake up, but it only works if the top's.
Now, is there? I'm almost wondering if there's any product to help with like even distribution of watering. So like hypothetically, let's say you had this little ring, you throw around the base of the plant that had even little holes, so we diffuse more
guys,
slowly.
They make a lot of those drips for growers that go around like the stem of a plant.
Oh,
Yeah, it sounds like that's
Drip
exactly what I'm
irrigation,
picturing.
so it's like a blue mat, but instead of a blue mat where it's in one spot, you have a drip. It's kind of like a horseshoe,
Ah, yeah.
and it'll drip around the plant, and it'll saturate that way. Because
That
with
sounds
blue
like-
mats, unfortunately, something like that.
What's a
you
blue
often
mat?
will get so blue mat is a little ceramic cone. It's about 3 inches tall, and it has a tube connected to it that's connected to a reservoir. And so it is drip irrigation, but it's through the ceramic. So it's like the concept of like a terracotta pot. So you place that in your pot, and it'll slowly, the water will wick out from the soil through the ceramic. But you tend to get a lot of root buildup around that blue
That makes
mat
sense because like especially if it's not going fast enough,
Yep.
right? That's where all the moisture is. So.
Right. And it's great for watering your plant, but if you have a very thirsty plant, like you're saying, to your point, you're going to get a root-bound plant because it's not having the water spread out. The roots can't search for water anywhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, blue mats are pretty cool. They work awesome.
All right.
But you can get them cheap online, but I also recommend just going with the name brand ones because they work the best.
All right,
I'm not sure what
is
Matt's
ChatGPT
cooking up.
Gonna answer us?
Let them cook. Oh yeah, you had your 2-sentence answer there.
Sorry. Oh, that's what that was.
You got it.
Sorry. Wait, guys. All right, ready? We're gonna do this.
People feel tired and sick in winter due to reduced sunlight disrupting sleep and mood, increased exposure to viruses in indoor spaces, and colder temperatures straining the body. Behavioral changes like less exercise, comfort food cravings, and dehydration also weaken energy and immunity.
No, I resonate with that one. Comfort food cravings and less exercise.
Oh, yeah, no.
And
it's-
dehydration.
Body built by winter,
I mean,
right here.
Winter
So
starts
dehydrated right
winter
now.
starts with harvest and Thanksgiving, and then food. And
Yeah,
then
eat up all you can
alcohol
because
for
it's gonna be
Christmas
hard
and
times.
New Year's and
So
eat all
true.
right.
So true.
You know?
Yeah, and the body picks up, like, it's that whole, like, one of the worst things you can try to do, or worst things you can do if you're trying to lose weight is only eat once a day. Because it tells your body is all of a sudden like, hey, we're not getting enough food. We better
to hold on
store
to
as
this,
much of
right,
it as we
right,
can.
So I'm actually not fully convinced on that one because like a lot of people have lost a lot of weight versus on like 1 meal a day type, regimens. And I do think that is something that the body can adapt to.
I'm
I
sure
don't,
it can, yeah.
with
So-
regards to like full storage, but I feel like you're onto something with when you're doing 1 meal a day and then you switch off of it. Your body's probably prepped to be like full absorption. We're prepping for a fast, and so if you're inconsistent, I feel like
I'm no nutritionist. I think it's that how long you can delay that first meal in the day. Maybe not limiting yourself to 1 meal a day, but if you've gone to sleep and then didn't eat breakfast but ate lunch, maybe that length of time where your body's not, you're just burning. You're sleeping, you're burning. You wake up, you're still burning. Drink, you know what I mean?
I'm a huge. I say like don't eat when you're hungry. You know what I mean?
And I mean eating in
Or
America.
sorry. Don't eat when you're hungry. Sorry, the opposite. Don't eat when you're not hungry, because
Right,
like there's signals. If you're not hungry, then like if you're trying to lose weight specifically, why would you eat if you're not hungry?
Right. We're the experts over
Yeah, I know.
here.
Yeah, give little commander a bath there.
He loved it.
Oh, yeah,
He
he did.
loves
Listen.
that.
But hey, if I didn't do what I was doing,
You know
it
what,
would be
little
way
commander
worse.
Oh
Research
my
will
You know what I
God,
mean?
are you kidding me? So I
Better.
understand
He
completely.
seems a little wobbly. You think he's okay?
You know when you have the habits that
He's
are
not.
horrible habits. Right?
You know,
Yeah,
came out of the
like I've seen
greenhouse.
stuff.
But bonsai is all about stress. It's like about subtle. No, that's not an excuse. I'm totally making excuses for neglect. I've treated this plant poorly.
So did we get to the root of what's plant? You told me already. But
To
I
the
don't
root.
To the root.
Which the plant? What plant is this?
It's a. Ginseng root. Yeah. Hey,
Just
Chad.
going with ginseng. Ginseng.
Yeah. One sec. Let me see, because I think it's like a graft. Let me get the specific. Yeah, but they're grafted, right? So I don't know. I think it's ficus grafted to the top of the ginseng. I mean.
Ah, it's grafted on there.
Yeah, so that's why.
That's a
it's-
good thing to talk
Isn't that cool?
about. Grafting
Grafting
is.
fascinating.
So I'm not super familiar
So
with
just to
grafting in
see,
general.
I
But if
think
we
I found it just to verify.
when you come back to
I just
Right,
want to
grafting,
say.
so
yeah, let's talk about grafting.
um,
Because like compatibility when it comes to grafting, because they have to match up, right?
well, I just found
So
out.
guys,
I think a
that's
year
the same
ago or
plant,
so.
right? That's a
That's
ficus
awesome.
ginseng.
Okay,
I think
cool.
that I thought that's what it was. I was just scared to be like, this is
This is
it,
what it
because I'm
is.
pretty
I
sure,
mean,
but I don't.
I found out like a year and a half ago you
Looks
can
delicious.
graft different fruits to different trees, but multiple. So you can have an apple tree that also grows cherries and peaches,
No way.
And they're compatible.
and they will all grow. I'm not saying I don't know if those are necessarily compatible, but you could have like a tree, a fruit tree that you graft multiple different kinds of fruit onto, and grow multiple fruits from one tree.
That's
So-
pretty awesome.
It's incredible.
So-
Like the concept of that to me blows my mind.
So
Really.
like I think that, what it has to do with is like what is the basal like uptake from the trunk in terms of, and then
Right.
the distribution in terms of like what determines what fruit is grown is going to be at the endpoints of the tree.
What
So
grows in
when
that
it comes
area,
to
right.
like grafting, like you're sticking on something that has to be compatible with whatever the tree's trunk and root system is doing. Soil again,
Yep.
it all comes back to that. I'm not saying that you'll necessarily get the best quality
but
apple
for example,
and best quality.
But could you, for
tomato.
example, graft an apple to a maple tree? What would that do to the flavor of
What
said
happens?
Might- yeah,
apple?
up the sugar, right?
You
Maybe
know what I
maybe
mean?
Totally, right? Like think about that's the like
that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
a lot of like the grafting done is like you take a really vigorous rootstock and graft it to some heirloom.
Right.
Like that's a little more sensitive potentially, or probably just wants
To
be grown
preserve the
organically.
heirloom genetics.
Well, just because they'll grow better, because now they'll have like some beefy rootstock. that's,
Right,
like,
right.
resistant
So
to a bunch, like say there's like,
it's like when
for
you-
grapes, for instance, there's certain like root pathogens, and correct me anyone if I'm wrong about anything, please. But so they'll graft something that's resistant to certain pathogens, like root pathogens, and then put like the delicious fruit up top.
Word.
Smart.
It also has to be worth it to do because now, of course, I'm a cannabis grower. I'm thinking, could you graft cannabis to cannabis?
It's
But then it's like you don't have the life
It's
cycle
an
to
annual.
exactly. You don't. It doesn't grow long enough for
So,
you to.
but it would be interesting
Smart,
to know whether what it did to the outcome, right? Because it's going to change what becomes available to the bud sites or the tomatoes. And I'm curious. Like, grafting is a great topic. We're gonna start that. That could be one of our sessions.
That sounds
That'd be a
awesome.
sick one.
Honestly, because like
Grafting.
this idea for me it reminds
JT
me of like
nodded.
dog breeds. So
Well, I
it's
mean,
like
he's
you're
the
breeding
expert.
for specific characteristics and like but the problem is now you have like hip problems, back problems, all this other stuff that comes with it. But when you're talking about these purebred dogs, you get one generation out,
Yep.
mixed with some mutt dog, whatever, like something that doesn't have these recessive conditions that have come out.
Yep.
And now you have a fully functional dog
Right.
that may lose some of the other recessive characteristics that you're breeding for, but it's very similar to that. If you have this heirloom tomato that's like it's the most fragile little precious creature, and if you can manage to graft that onto something that some other plant that does give it what it needs in much more supply, I think grafting sounds very especially as a home grower, because that's not something you can do in mass.
Should we do it next week instead of push mutants back?
Oh.
Post Christmas
Up to you
episode.
guys. I mean, if you guys are down, I mean, what do we want to talk about after Christmas?
Well, the question is Santa Claus a mutant or a graft?
Figment.
I mean, for sure, I was thinking about that.
Santa's a mutant.
I mean, he lives forever.
I think pulling off what he pulls off, he'd have to be a mutant.
I don't like calling Santa a mutant, though. It feels wrong, right? He's
Well, did you know
magical.
the beard
it's
is
only
actually
wrong
flesh?
But you know what?
if
We're
you
all.
mean
I
it
think the
with
question is:
negative intent.
Are we all mutants, right? Like,
We
at the
are
end
all
of the day,
mutants.
right? Like we exist. Like evolution is about mutation.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
refuse
absolutely.
to label humans as anything other than a parasite.
Yeah, dude. As someone who like
refuse
to
looks at
label us-
parasites and pathogens and
We
like
are
pests and like
nothing
aphid
other-
outbreaks, and if you look at like our
I refuse to
We're-
label us.
I
as
mean,
anything.
we're-
we see ourselves way too high in this ecosystem.
We've done a number on it.
Dude.
You know what blew my mind a while ago? It was like what do you think the most populous mammal is? And
rat.
I was thinking like, oh, it must be a rat, it must be something, but like, dude, no.
Ants?
Well, so ants are
Mammal.
mammals, right?
Oh, mammal.
So-
I was thinking that too, and then I
but
was like, oh, yeah, I
seriously,
said mammals.
This is
So
Weed.
ask Chat GT.
All right, JT.
What's
Tell
the
us
most populous mammal? If someone can beat us to that answer, you get a $5 gift card to Gardin. Very, very amazing. Really.
Oh, I know. It's no.
We should do more competitions.
What is the most populous
Mosquitoes
animal
are
on
the
the
most
planet?
populous ant, like most creature, right? Mosquitoes are. It's not a mammal.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to. You can't include bugs because, like, by biomass,
Wait, guys,
ants
people
are
have been
like.
commenting.
No, but I think.
Sorry, guys, we didn't realize you were commenting.
Scientists estimate there
I
are
didn't say
around
animal, I said
21
mammal.
million ants.
JT.
20,000 trillion.
By biomass, ants are like
Incredible.
crazy.
Oh, we got comments.
Yeah, we forgot to check the comments, so we got a couple.
Have we not been scrolled down this
Oh,
entire time?
shoot. Sorry, guys.
All right, we got 2.
All right, let's see. All
Click on
right.
M, I think. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Should
Wait,
grow.
yeah,
food
that's
grow-
Wig is officially the comment reader. That's your
Should
that's
food
your new
grow
role.
in a water-based medium be considered organic?
I mean, isn't all food grown? I mean, I get it that it's a hydroponic
Ooh.
question.
What is organic,
Like-
dude? This is
Well,
like
I think
such,
organic.
yeah.
It depends on what you're feeding it. Correct. I think the base, the medium doesn't matter as much as what you're feeding it. Correct. To determine whether it's organic.
So
or
there's
not.
like, what is organic, right? Like organic could be, from like a chemistry perspective, a carbon-based molecule, right?
Right.
Which has to do with life, right? But organic, and so based on that, like, or it could be organic certification, which I think is more natural because calcium carbonate that's organic, there's no carbon.
I guess I'm going more
and
simple.
also, so
like,
if it's not sustainable, right? But then there's like,
I mean, are you growing water-based food in a fish tank with natural fertilizer, or are you growing food in a hydroponic setup with, bottled fertilizers?
see,
So I think if you're growing, for example, tomatoes in your fish tank or strawberries, that's organic, right? Because you have organic molecules that are feeding it.
what are you feeding the fish? I guess.
So,
I mean,
like,
the fish, it doesn't really
okay,
matter what you're
I've
feeding
heard a
the
lot
fish
of
because
argument-
the fish are
I've heard a
processing
lot of
that.
argument that the only way to grow hydroponically, organically, is with aquaponics, but I disagree. I'm doing one right over there with worms, where I'm putting my compost into these buckets.
I mean,
but
I
like
guess
at the end
it's
of
the
the day,
same
are you
thing,
adding
right?
salts in, right?
All right, here's my take.
Because you can take your
I gotta get in
soil,
on
and I
this.
don't grow pure organic all the time. Like there's times where if I feel like there's a deficiency in particular, I'll add salt in.
You need
and that's
Epsom
where-
salts.
and
you
that's
need-
not
right,
organic
right.
anymore.
But Epsom salts, why wouldn't
Epsom
it be?
salts are organic.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you could
But there's no
add
carbon
organic.
So
molecules.
I feel like
so
I'm.
why is it organic? Why are chat JT?
It's killing me.
Why can Epsom salt be organic?
We got a comment over here.
Oh
All right.
shoot! Sorry.
Listen, my guy. So when it comes to organic, I think the key takeaway really is like what chemicals are you using, what are you adding to the system, because I mean there's very few things that would be considered more organic than pure freaking water.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like if you're
Sourced
talking
from
about
where?
but let's say we're talking evaporated, like your purest hydroponic thing, your base H2O or
Yep.
dihydrogen monoxide, and if you're adding pure nitrogen, pure these pure chemicals, I still think that would be considered like organic compared to something like adding some weird engineered chemical fertilizer. Because if you're dealing with these things, as long as there are the sort of things that appear in nature, even if you're using an artificial system to combine these things, I would still consider that organic.
Well,
I hear that.
Yeah, there's things that concern me, like even like you can have salts, but I think if they're mined naturally, so there's like the carbon-based thing, but the sustainability part, it doesn't always match up either, because like there's organic backwanos, which to me, like you're mining back caves, right? Like there's no concern for how it's obtained.
To the bat cave.
Yeah, to the point where there's a company that had to switch from Phos Bat as a product to Phos Rock. Like their bat. Like people are switching because the caves are becoming gone.
They really mining caves for guano versus
Oh yeah,
having
it's terrible.
farms?
And the people, and it's
Interesting.
like
Yeah,
It's like
I thought it was all.
Food.
When you say bat guano come in a bag, I'm thinking it's farm.
no, it's really terrible actually. The way so I'm avoiding bringing in back guano now.
What happened with the dude who had left the Cheetos bag in the cave?
Dude,
And then
people.
the Cheetos bag changed the
It's a joke,
ecosystem
dude,
of
the-
the cave.
Oh really?
Yeah, because like it was something that had never been introduced to the cave before.
I haven't
and
heard
you have
this.
All these microbiomes. I'm seeing these microbes feeding off of this Cheeto, and it's introducing an entirely new bacteria and food source and all of these things to this cave, and it completely messed up the like ecosystem of the cave. Apparently, look it up. It's pretty cool.
Dude, that's messed up, man. And it's also dangerous. Like the people who are doing it, it's like the bat caves are not bat guano. I don't know.
You'll be breathing
Safe
that
to be
in all
breathing
day
that in
in a
the people
cave.
are. It's a bad job. It's a dangerous
And with your
job.
torch light, because you know you don't have regular lights, because it's probably in Bolivia somewhere.
Parrot died
So-
3 days ago.
You know,
Talking
Yeah.
about the impact of humanity, ChatGPT just got back to me on the most populous mammal. All right, so you are correct, Nick. The most populous mammal on Earth is humans, with over 8 billion individuals. Here's what's very fascinating. You want to know what the runners-up are?
Yeah,
All right. Cattle.
oh,
at
cattle.
1.5 billion.
because of us, right?
Because of us. Pigs are at about 1 billion.
Because of us.
And sheep at around 1 billion because of us.
Look up how many chickens.
Wait.
there are.
How about dogs and cats?
They don't. They're not on this list.
They're not on that list.
Let's check this week
Now,
if you want
they-
to do a show on
They
grafting.
even
another
add in
guy.
what is the most
that.
natural,
Oh,
like
nice.
wild
Great
in the
idea.
wild, the most populous mammal, and that is
Dude,
the house
love that.
mouse.
Bricks, great idea.
And part of it is
because of us.
of us.
Of us.
They eat our trash. They live in our home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh yeah, I have saved more
Who
house
suggested
mice
the bricks?
from our cats. I mean, I've saved at least 3.
but that's one, honestly, so I got asked that question, I think, at some point in school. And, I was like, okay, when I look outside, what do I see? And I'm not thinking about humans, right? I'm thinking about, like, oh, squirrels, right? Like, oh, I see squirrels all the time. That it must be them. There's, like, 5 squirrels in my backyard. But
And
it's, like the number of people on the planet. And it's like, especially if you look at the charts, it's wild, dude. It's it's not even close. It's
So-
not even close.
This isn't actually true, but it's one of those things which is like borderline close. Like the actuaries love to say that there are more people alive today than have died in all of human
I've
history.
heard that one, yeah.
It's not actually correct, but it's not far off. Because yeah, exactly, it's an exponential growth, and people can't wrap their head around the number billion. Like billion is a hard number to conceptualize.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use my calculator.
You're
here
saying
for a
more
minute.
people have died than are actually alive today.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And you
But
know
it's
what the
not
number
as different as you think. That's the thing. The number of people who are
It's
alive
close,
today.
right?
It's very
one
close.
versus
Yeah.
the number
Which
of
is
people who
wild.
have
I think it's
existed?
close to.
I think it's like, we got a little pocket here. But
It's like
really the
50-50.
numbers.
It's nuts, right?
really?
Like that's
Yeah.
how quickly our population is growing. That
Yeah,
like half
like-
of all humans ever are around.
All of human history is like population is like la da 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 grows a little bit,
And
then
then-
boom,
Boom.
you hit a certain point.
Hockey stick.
Because it's the doubling effect. Like if the population doubles every generation,
So
you start
here's-
out with 2 people, your population is going to grow.
Well, this is
slowly.
what happens when
Do
you
think
eliminate
our
the.
humanity is growing faster as a because there's more people on the planet at a given moment. Like, are we growing? Is it like where we are times how many people, or
No.
Like, does humanity
So-
progress faster with more people?
So the in general, yes, but it's an interesting thing. You see, countries with very high standards of living are actually reproducing less. I mean, as purely statistical. Like,
But
I don't
it's
know
because
anything
we
about
can't
cause,
afford to.
right?
Versus if you're in a poor area,
Yeah.
like have children, you have more success of survival.
In some degree, that is your source of survival.
All right. So just to put the number 8 billion into perspective here, if you counted one person every second, it would take you 253 years to count to 8 billion.
Only 253.
250, and that's nonstop. You start counting, you don't sleep.
Challenge accepted. I'm gonna hit the restroom and then we'll see
You're
how
gonna start
far I
counting?
get.
Let's check some comments. Wait, you might even jump in.
Let's
We
do
got a
this.
bunch. Someone
Yeah, I can't read
mentioned.
those.
I want to thank whoever mentioned the idea for.
Ben.
bricks too, man. Like, oh wait, scroll up because
Bricks leaf
Andrew,
level on plants
sweet
and
Andrew, let's
doors.
talk about it. That's food grows. We answer that. Yes.
Let's chat this week if you want to do a show on grafting. I know a guy, and you could definitely do a deep
Sweet.
dive on this.
Yes, please. Know where to
And
find me.
Madison, should food, that was Madison. Yeah.
I think we weren't sure. And
DG
yeah.
Mike.
Oh wait, go the
Shades
other
of
way.
Love.
Yeah.
The last one was bricks.
All right, so yeah, let me see bricks ones. What was this? So the brick show, dude, I love that idea. Bricks, you know what
Not
bricks
hip.
is?
Not hip. What is this?
All right, bricks. This was, I feel like, I don't know why it stopped being popular. Bricks is a measure, and Ben, right? What's up, Ben? Is a measure of sugar content in a leaf, and like other areas of farming are way bigger anyway because it's a direct
138.
correlation of productivity of the flowers.
Only
or
8 billion
fruits.
more to go.
So it's a big deal. Like, and you use a light, basically. I have one, and I'm embarrassed to say I literally have had this refractometer
Was it like
for
the caloric
5
potential
years, and
of
it's
a
like
leaf?
on my to-do list to do a bricks test.
What does it measure, like the caloric potential of a leaf or something?
Let's
Yeah,
ask
yeah. What's the
ChatGPT,
deal with
like-
these bricks? I missed
So
this.
bricks
I was curious.
is a measurement, like, and it was getting bigger and bigger, and I feel like I don't hear much about it. So I love that someone brought it up. It's a great thing. It's sugar content, right, in a leaf matter, and so you use a refractometer.
Oh, so you you shine light through the leaf?
Yep, to figure, I believe, and it's a huge indicator of like the higher it is, the more fruit productivity a plant will have. So
Interesting.
you'll be able to predict the
Huh.
It's a
productivity.
scale that measures the sugar content of a liquid solution commonly used in agriculture, winemaking, and the food industry.
Yeah.
What it represents, the Brix value indicates the percentage of dissolved solids in the liquid, primarily sugars. For example, a Brix reading of 10 means the solution contains 10 grams of sugar per 100 grams of liquid.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Interesting. So it's like a blood glucose test.
Yeah. Only.
Is higher? I guess
only
higher better.
plants can't get diabetes.
Plants can't get diabetes.
So it's, but maybe they can, and maybe you're measuring.
Can plants get diabetes?
You know what I mean?
This
Maybe
is
there's
a
too much
These are all
sugar.
questions for Brett.
Maybe it's
This
too
is
much
one I
sugar
should
for the
type in.
plant to break down.
All right.
Or
Chat JT. Can
feel
plants get
plants
diabetes?
they are biological organisms like we are, right? Like they're gonna have similar.
I mean, here's the difference, right? They produce sugar, right? We don't
We break down sugar.
produce sugar.
Maybe we're not under the right conditions to, or maybe
No,
it
we just
doesn't-
that's what we eat. We're
Ah.
heterotrophs. They're
Interesting.
autotrophs, meaning they take sun and produce it to sugar. What I think, right? Yeah, it's domination.
So,
I don't know the
Question
word,
for
but-
you, as I'm watching you submerge your pH testers the whole
Yes,
night,
sir.
How do you feel about submerging them versus not going past that black line? You hear the passive aggressive in my voice. That black line right there on the meter.
So you don't like this? This makes you
versus
uncomfortable. Makes you
submerging
nervous.
them and like you like that, right?
Smashing it around. Why doesn't my meter work?
They're really sensitive.
Well,
He's
it's
just using
protected,
it as
so
a
the bottom.
spatula. He's just been stirring the
Matt,
pot with
Matt
it.
is the definition of this is why we can't have nice things.
It's true.
I
We
think
don't
you're
have
not
nice
supposed to
things.
get
Yeah,
water,
kids are
like,
worse.
past that black line. I think.
I don't think they are.
I've been watching all night. Just
I don't think it's
I mean,
are for us.
so this is my excuse.
is
One
it
of the
this
great things
reading?
about my job is I get to tell myself that I
You know
should
what
be
you're
really rough on stuff because I need to know how
If it's-
durable it is for my customers.
Yeah, you need to know what
That's
you
very
can do
fair.
with it.
And so there's a part of me, like, because I've been to places. I remember when I bought, like, a mower once, and, like, literally, it was a Honda mower, so, like, paid more money for it. And I literally, that day, I was mowing the lawn, and the drive broke on it. It was a push behind,
Yep,
like, that
yep,
went.
yep.
Bring it in, the guy's like, oh, you went over a stick.
You went over a rock,
I was like, I
stick
went
or
over a
something.
stick? And I
What
was
were
like, I
you
would have bought
thinking?
a 200, I was like, yeah, there's sticks in my yard.
This is
I
why
was
we
like,
get
you gotta
along.
pick them all up. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
I
I was
want
like,
the
then why
mower to
wouldn't I
break
buy
it
the
down.
crappy mower?
Dude.
And he was like, and he made me feel bad about it, like, and I was like,
well,
and then so I said,
yeah,
so
right.
then I was like, well, dude, I have sticks in my mouth. I was like, yeah, that shouldn't happen. It's just really bad luck. And I've had that mower for 7 years, and it's never happened again. And
You need that
I
industrial
literally
strength.
mow logs and stuff with my mower. Like this thing's a beast, dude. It's a beast. And it was
Always,
just a
dude.
fluke.
Always get the best. So, like, that's another thing that's coming around. There's so many products available where it's like, oh, the cheapest thing, right? Where your cost of living is associated with buying like a $3 fucking can opener or whatever, swear jar. But like, you just buy it once.
Yep.
Buy the good thing that is actually engineered to do the thing, Correct, because like the thing is, if it's breaking while doing the thing, it's not engineered to do the thing. You can use it to do that, but it's not engineered to do it.
Let me not go on my rant on corporate greed, how you used to be able to do that, and now everything's a subscription-based model. So
well, it's
you can't
a lot
buy
of
the
economics
nice version anymore.
Yeah, it's
It's
not an economics podcast either.
Right. You know?
Dude,
I don't know, there's a few things you should never cheap out on, like suitcases.
Suitcase
Oh
is
my
big.
God.
Yeah, you
last
get a
run.
good suitcase
That'll last
lasts
you your
forever.
entire life.
I wouldn't know. No, I destroy suitcases.
How?
Well, do you get nice
Is
ones
it
or do
you
get
or
just
is
On
it-
duty.
Is it the baggage handlers?
I think
Dude,
once
when
it
I go to
reaches-
the airport, I get put through like security pretty heavily every day.
Are they knifing your suitcase?
No, like I always
He
get
just
like
looks like he's carrying
the
something.
fingerprint thing. I always get stopped. I always get like
You get nervous going through checkout, or
they,
you
they don't.
look, why are they messing with me? You look like the guy I might pick out.
Yeah,
What's in his bag?
I always get pulled aside.
What's in his
always.
bag?
Like to the point where Mandy was
Secondary.
like, "What's it like when you go through the thing?"
Two
where they
fingers or
scan,
one?
Like around. And I was like, "What do you mean? Like don't?" I thought everyone did that because they do it every time.
Nope. I understand.
Like I'll go through and they'll be like, "Oh, wait, your fingerprints. We need to test them for."
No,
I-
TSA sees
Bullet,
it, they're like, well, he's obviously ethnic, but we don't know how. We got to test
I
him.
they have my ID.
Yeah.
What are you?
I mean, I guess that's terrible either way. That's even worse.
What are
It sounds better when you're screaming into a creature of some sort.
you? What is it? The T-shirt that says
What
it's not,
are
It's
you?
not GAY if it's TSA.
What is
It's
that?
a shirt. It's like.
You know what's concerning about it to me is like it's just lazy, right? Like to profile like so all you have to do is just like not look like a stereotype on TV. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like they're not doing a great job if they keep picking me out.
They
like,
keep picking me
it's
out.
concerning.
You know,
And
Matt.
it's also racist.
Matt,
Oh,
the
yeah.
only way you can fix this is to just constantly walk through TSA once you get through, walk around,
Yeah.
come back in. Eventually, you'll
Is that a
contribute to
new
the statistics
comment?
enough for.
Now,
I mean, there
what-
was a second
nice.
comment.
Another thumbs up from Andrew for bricks. Yes, bud. You guys, I can't wait to. I'm doing my 5th measurement on the runoff.
This one for you.
And man, it's pretty interesting actually. I'm glad I've been secretly doing this experiment.
It's
by
not
the way.
TSA. Wait, sorry. If it's TSA, then it's not gay. Which, by the way,
I think
You need to wear that
Perfectly
shirt in the
comfortable.
airport.
What is that? I don't even understand.
So it's okay if you're getting harassed by TSA.
I have a lot of directions I could go in this, but PG.
All right, yeah,
13.
this is.
Yeah,
We need someone in the room to be on like a bleep and also for plumber's crack for me.
But it would be the
like someone who
bleep
can
after
blur
the
stuff
fact.
out because
You're gonna swear.
I'm gonna be measuring pH and there's gonna be a plumber's crack incident. I'm sorry I have.
Hey, we're trying to take your most flattering angles, and occasionally that is your most flattering angle.
That's concerning. It's concerning. That is not a compliment.
We just need to get a big old sticker.
So
of,
this
like, a
is
peach or
oh
something and
weird.
just
Okay, all
Slap
right.
it right on there.
Right. Oh.
Do I keep going?
Oh, the camera went blur.
So okay, ready?
Oh, we gotta
So
fix that
unfortunately, I wrote
somehow.
grafting because I thought it was such a great idea. I got excited. Oh, what happened here? It got
I don't
blurry.
know.
Okay,
There we go.
so, anyways,
Good enough.
so on the run, so I did 6 measurements where I washed through repeatedly, and let me pull it up.
Yeah, graph it. Can you throw it
Sorry,
in
I
Excel
wrote
real quick?
grafting in the middle of the piece of paper. So everyone see this? Someone say grafting, it got me excited, so I wrote it down with a star. So anyways, the pH was started at 6.85, and the TDS, that's the, basically amount of dissolved solids, and it's really a measure of electroconductivity, but then multiplied by either 500 or 700. This is multiplied by 500. So the pH started at 6.85, then dropped to 6.75, then slowly rose and just stayed at 6.8 until just now. It was down to 6.78. So it could be the meter, but basically pH has been really stable since the beginning. But you can see also as the TDS on each run just kept going up and up and up. So I think it's really interesting because I was never sure whether the pH was, going to be changing as well. And I'm kind of wondering, like, if I do this again tomorrow, what it's going to look like. and you know what? I'm going to. I'm gonna do another run tomorrow, and I'll throw it up and let you guys know what I see.
Yeah.
Cool. So do we want to sign off at this point? Or-
I swear there was a second question, but maybe it was just in support of bricks. Was that the?
Yeah, it was 2 about bricks.
I've got a question.
Yeah, nice.
Chat JT. Did you have fun tonight? Did you have fun tonight?
Oh, we never actually read the thing. So diabetes specifically refers to.
Oh yeah, let's
things
sit
with
down. We should
circular-
sit down. That's like what you're supposed to do on a live show when you say goodbye, right? Aren't you supposed to all be
You sit
sitting
down.
down and
I'll
waving?
sit down. All right.
Hanging out, and then music comes on. Because there's like 2 people who are awesome.
We love you.
All right. Yeah, I immediately regret making you guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
That was even more
Plants
awkward.
cannot get diabetes as animals do because diabetes is a condition related to blood sugar regulation in organisms with circulatory systems. But I would argue that
Plants have circulatory. That's exactly how I read that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
but
sorry.
it's
They don't have
specifically
blood.
involving insulin and glucose metabolism.
That is true. Yeah.
But glucose metabolism is the breaking.
It's
down
just an
of
analog
glucose.
from an animal versus a plant. I mean,
Fact.
I don't know. I'm not pleased with that answer. I'd got to give it a 2 stars. 2 stars.
So
JT, you're failing us.
on that note, guys.
Not as good as real JT.
Why is camo showing up on the screen, guys?
Why is what showing up?
Oh my God. It's, you know what? I don't even know. But it's an app that I installed and then thought I uninstalled, but because it didn't. Yeah. Well, on that note, guys, next week will either be mutants. Wait. I guess we're not signing off just yet. But I would like to know why camo.
Oh, we can sign off.
Can we sign off?
I'm not doing anything related to this. Just
Okay.
asking some weed head questions.
All right.
Dude,
cool.
this is
And
like
on that note, guys, yeah, we're gonna be doing either mutants. We're planning on doing mutants, but then bricks and grafting. Love all of this. Keep involved, guys. Let us know what we can do better. Although, maybe keep it to 10 so we can absorb it. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Peace. Over here. Peace. That's it.